10%.
I know.
Till episode 200. When we will all be 45 years old.
Weirdly enough, all of us will be 45.
Yeah, all of us. Like, John, you're just going to get skipped ahead.
Mm-hmm. I've actually... Wait a minute.
You're like those weird social links in Persona where they just kind of fudge the number on what level you're on because they upgrade automatically. That's what's going to happen to your age.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It checks out.
Yeah, it absolutely checks out and is fine.
Click to claim a bonus? Oh, I earned good burp there.
It was pretty good.
Good, powerful energy.
Nice and meaty.
Yep.
It tasted like root beer because I had some really good root beer earlier made with actual cane sugar, so it's like the good shit.
Fuck yeah, I love a good root beer.
Thank you for the sub, Pingu Gemini. I don't know if I'll hear it because Streamlabs has been weird the last few days. It's not working properly or something, so I don't know if it'll fart at me or not.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Streamlabs has just been kind of on and off the last few days, so I don't know if it'll fart at me or not.
Oh yeah, here we go.
There's a fart. I just heard one. Okay. It actually works.
Good.
No, that was actually just me actually farting.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, you are earning 2x poly points for subscribing.
Yeah, you are. Look at all those
I
poly
hate that
points.
poly points are just a real thing now.
Thank you for the follow, June Flower.
Oh, hi, June.
Have you heard of the High Elves?
Yeah, we're mutuals on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, how's it going? I'm sorry that it didn't fart. Streamlabs is weird right now, so I know that you followed, and I know that you were probably looking forward to that big meaty fart alert for following, but unfortunately, Streamlabs is all, hey, I can't, I'm pooping myself, and I can't make fart sounds for Polly's stream.
Which is sort of ironic.
Yeah, that's real ironic and weird, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. June made a Twine game I liked, and they made this cool RPG Maker texture game that I haven't gotten to play yet. I'm very excited about.
Neat. Those are two of my favorite things, RPG Maker games and Twine games.
Yeah, they're basically the two kinds of games that matter.
It's kind of the only two games that you really
And
need.
Ren'Py games.
Exactly. Ren'Py games are good, too.
Mm-hmm.
See, you can tell that this game's good because it's got a cool logo. That's what all my games are missing. They ain't got good logos.
Oh, wait. Her Lullaby's logo is great.
Okay, that's actually, like, it's literally just like, yo, find this scratch font and do a couple of dumb things with it. And then, afterwards is literally just Tahoma. It's just the font.
Should have made it Comic Sans. No,
I should actually do that.
High school AU version.
I should actually do that to afterward at some point. It just change the logo and patch the game and make it Comic Sans.
But you got the little echo effect. You put the line under it, made the first letters of each word purple. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I took the ghost effect out of afterward logo because that's meaningful.
Oh shit!
See, I was thinking. I was really thinking with the visual design of that second game.
Good. Yeah, the Takuma makes perfect sense, just considering where that game's coming from.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, like it's very mundane. Like I said, everything was very literally thought over for that. Like, whereas her Lullaby was literally just, I don't know, whatever works. This looks kind of like a Higurashi logo.
Perfect.
I'm okay with wearing my influence on my sleeve.
Yep. That one's pretty. It's pretty transparent there.
It's very on the nose.
And I'm okay with that.
Hey, Dances with a Wish.
Her Lullaby no Naku Corny.
Well, it is When They Cry, so when they sleep. When they sleep. That's what we'll call it.
Hi, Heather. Good to see you.
Heather played those two very good video games.
I know. Made me happy. And Facets.
Facets is a video game. See what I did there?
Uh-huh.
I'll wait a few more minutes to let people get filed in.
Oh, that's funny.
Good
Did Poly Dungeon come out before or afterward?
stuff. Well,
I think
afterward was
before.
last year, so and it was September of 2018 was Poly Dungeon. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was before. Yep. So we both had our own little things going on.
Shit, it's almost been a year since I made a game. I need to make a game.
All right.
Fuck.
Ugh.
Like, I've got so many little prototypes sitting around that I've showed people. I'm just like, hey, look at this dumb shooter that I made.
Like that very good Berserky.
Yeah, look at this very good Berserk kind of game that I've made and I ain't done shit with. It was like, then I was, wait a minute, I gotta program enemy AI. Fuck!
Don't.
I gotta make AI work with walls, John!
Polly, don't program AIs. Program like extremely simple patterns, and then just mix them together. That's it. That's all you need. AI shouldn't be a thing. If you have an enemy that like reacts to shit, then you're already dead.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's like that JoJo thing.
Like, look, I could probably put together some pretty good boss AI, but in terms of like getting enemies to move around walls and shit, it's like, oh no, I gotta make that happen. Every enemy's a fucking turret. There we go, solved it. Boom. Every enemy is a turret or a mine, a bouncy ball, or a mine that moves toward the player.
A bouncy ball that just goes at 45-degree angles at all times. When it hits a wall, it reverses. If it hits a horizontal wall, it reverses vertical direction. If it hits a vertical wall, it reverses horizontal direction.
This is
and
totally
that's it.
Not Evil Auto. I swear it's not.
It's like the ghost from Spelunky.
Exactly.
Now,
enemies go through walls. This is a better idea.
I know, right?
And don't let the enemy shots go through walls. And then you've created this cool paradigm where you are at the big disadvantage. And we just make all the enemies do whatever fuck shit they want, so long as they're within the boundaries of the room.
Perfect. Or just have each individual enemy just script out a path for each enemy that they want.
Script that, because like it's a Berserk slash Smash TV kind of game, right? So it's literally gonna be like hundreds of enemies that need to happen per room. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down and modify every single fucking one. Here's my one-room video game, people.
I mean, every enemy walks in a circle.
There you go.
And you put them far from walls. Yeah, right?
You could like program a path that they try to follow, and then as they swarm in, they get pushed out. They try to follow this path.
Yeah, like you can actually do like the pathing stuff in Game Maker is actually pretty good because I think that's how John. I think that's how John did all of his enemy patterns in Expanse. Was that he probably used the pattern the path maker.
A lot of them, yeah. Like the sine wave ones definitely were paths.
Yeah, because sine waves suck trying to program, I found. They're real annoying.
Oh yeah.
That was like one of the first things.
Easy.
But you can actually play with the path maker, and you can operate how it, like the speed and stuff that it takes at each point and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So,
what are you going to say, Rhett?
Do y'all remember in Stage 1 of Hunters, towards the end, Avior follows you around?
Yeah.
And he doesn't actually exactly follow you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he'll stay a few steps behind you. It's not like a ghost of you 1 second ago.
Mm-hmm.
He actually follows you.
Oh.
That was real fun.
That sounds like it would be... Man.
He needs to know where to jump to not fall off the platforms.
Oh, God, I remember that.
And you're doing that. You're doing this in Flash fucking 4.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I could be like, never stop sneaking and only have 3 enemy types.
Yeah, and one of them's still a turret.
It works. It works. No, I'm gonna do something with that game. I've had a couple ideas.
I know.
I've had a couple ideas for that game, but it's just like, man, now I've got to do the hard part and actually make the game. Like, I know what I want to do for bosses and levels, but it's just like, oh man, now I've got to make enemies. Crap.
Mm. When John said mentioned like scripting every single AI manually for every enemy, I was like, oh, like Half-Life 1.
Like Half-Life 1, yeah. But just make it a fucking boss rush game. Fuck it. I'll make it.
mean,
I'll make it a teleporter maze boss rush game. John will love it.
Perfect.
I'll just put because I made this really awesome warp. It's a really cool. Like I made a really cool warp effect, and it's really neat looking. So I made that, and I was just like, you know what? I'll just put a bunch of those in a room, and there's wrong ones, and then they'll just send you to the wrong room. John will love it. It'll be John's favorite video game.
It's a boss rush, but there's sliding block puzzles between each boss.
I've got to know how to make sliding blocks.
Let me open up Game Maker here.
I don't know how to transfer. I don't know how to transfer velocity from the player to a platform, or from a platform to the player. I don't know how to do that. I'm stupid.
Oh man, moving platformers can be a pain.
Oh yeah, moving platforms. That's another thing I've not done.
Do y'all remember when I spent like 2 years doing all that shit for Bullet Maze or for Bullet Phase? Like you can push blocks in that game, and then there's like one level that actually
does it.
But it took 4 fucking ever. You can push blocks and have them drop onto other blocks, and then push the bottom one, and they'll all move.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that ever happens in the game.
Polly, there's literally a step avoiding option in Game Maker where it just walks towards a point, but avoids solid objects. So it's just automatic pathfinding for going around walls.
Son of a bitch. I'm making a Berserk clone, everybody. Welcome to the Sockscast episode 111. I am your host, Polly. We are brought to you, as always, by Moon Pies. Moon Pies, isn't it weird how they're more of a cake than a pie?
I don't know. I've never had one.
How have you still not found?
They don't sell. They're a local thing, apparently.
They can't be a local thing because I know people that get them in like Michigan and California.
They are so not a local thing because I got them in Georgia, I got them in Florida. I remember.
You're not trying hard enough. Do you think? Wait. I thought you mentioned something that New Hampshire sort of has its own kind of like.
It's called something else. I forget what.
I wonder.
Sun cakes.
What is it?
Something like that.
I wonder if they actively force stores to not carry them, to not carry moon pies. Oh my god! I wonder if that's an actual thing. And that's been your podcast. That's what we thought we would ruminate on today. We're glad you all came out. To my immediate virtual right, he alone loves you. He alone tempts you. It's Rhett.
Hello.
Hey, are you?
That was a sort of a sultry hello there.
It was.
I have a question. What's Berserk?
What's Berserk? Berserk
Berserk?
It's a really cool old arcade game. It was one of the first to actually use wave-based samples. So all of its sounds are really kind of just terrifying and shit. And
so good.
You go from like room to room shooting robots, and then after you kill all the robots in a room, you're chased by a bouncy smiley face who chases you to the next room. And he's called Evil Otto.
Okay. I've honest to God never heard of that game. You're pulling out such an old reference there.
It's so good. It's so good.
I'm just like, call it Smash TV clone.
Well, I can't call it a Smash TV clone because it literally came out beforehand. So I think it predates.
No, I meant your game would be a Smash TV clone.
Yeah, my game would be like Robotron, kind of.
That's the one. I always thought Robotron was like kind of the original of that genre. Well, I've never heard of Berserk.
Like, I don't know if Berserk came out before Robotron, though. Like, I don't know.
Okay. Berserk is 1980, apparently.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it definitely predates.
For what it's worth, I played your little prototype, and I immediately went, oh, cool, it's like Berserk.
Awesome. Awesome. But I've got, like, cool guns and stuff in it.
It's very cool.
I got a gun that shoots knives that are neon for no reason. I got a fart gun.
You got
Yeah, it's a Sayaka gun basically, but like the knives are neon and they're colory.
I have so many SKA girls I love now. So is Sayaka the maid? No, Sayaka's the who? Which one? Polly?
Sayaka.
Monica, right?
It's Sayaka, the Toho girl.
Okay, that is the.
Is it Sayaka?
No, Sakuya.
Isn't Sayaka?
Okay, Sakuya now. Okay, yeah. Like, I'm just so confused.
God.
I'm so confused by all these sacks.
Sayaka is the blue Madoka.
Yeah.
Yes. And then
And
Sakuya is the blue maid.
Is Sakuya. That's the one. Okay.
Yeah. That's what that gun is sort of a reference to. It's just little daggers.
Very good. They feel very good.
Yeah.
Especially because I punched him up a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And there's like a bad shotgun. I don't know what
I love
Bad
that
shotgun.
It's a bad shotgun.
Every shot.
It's got a very satisfying effect. I just kind of need to tweak it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Every shotgun in every video game is either the best gun in the game or the worst gun in the game. There's never an in between.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
I think I remember there still being a little room for me to help make it match the animations a little better. So if you get back into that, just let me know, and I can hop back near the end. I can hop back in and just tighten it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I think definitely. But I think we're like at a point now where it's workable, and I could like start working on this as a game. So yeah, like I might start like, hey, yo, look, I made an orb and it bounces around the room. There's enemy number 1. I made a gun that follows you and it shoots at you. That is enemy number 2.
And that's easy now because there's automatic pathfinding.
There's automatic pathfinding as well, and it's very easy to make an object point at another object. So that's not hard. To my immediate...
Just look at Super C and Operation C and be like, how many of these can I copy?
How many? Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's basically what I did with X-Man. So I was like, watching Project N33, how many of these can I copy exactly? And then I did. And it was great.
Motherfucker.
It's fine. It's fine. To my me virtual left, don't fall away and leave love bleeding in his hands. It's John Thayer.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
How's it going?
I had to follow with the real high.
Yeah. Had to make, cause like Rhett's over here getting real sexy on us, and you know.
I feel like this is going to be a sexy one.
What podcast is never sexy? It's got Rhett. Rhett's involved. He's here.
That's true.
Yeah. What are you saying? I'm just getting sexy now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the start of the show, you got to ease him into the experience, Rhett. You know all about easing him into the experience.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. This is the podcast foreplay.
This is
is the joke. Yeah.
So you're ready. You sound like you are ready to just podcast like a motherfucker, John Thayer.
I'm so ready.
You are just so ready. So that's why we're going to talk to my good friend Rhett and find out what he's been up to. Hey, Rhett.
You always throw him for a curveball.
I know.
What's up?
Boom. I just totally did a bamboozle on John Thayer. Did you see that shit?
I was like, oh shit, what do I talk about? So that worked out.
It's okay. Doing this podcast is about nothing. This is a podcast where it's literally just 3 idiots who get together every couple of weeks and say, I did a thing!
Hey!
So Rhett,
usually...
Rhett, what's the thing you did? What is a thing that you did?
You ready for this hot banger?
I'm ready for the hot banger. Are we jumping into it? The promised it on Twitter?
Oh no, that's the finale.
Oh, okay. So stick around. Rhett has an amazing it. That's not the only thing he has an amazing. But he has promised a big it on the podcast on Twitter earlier.
Oh boy.
So he's got something to live up to for his finale. But Rhett, what you doing? What you want to talk about?
I play Katana Zero.
Oh boy.
Your favorite.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
The creators of Tower of Heaven.
Oh
and
no.
Oh no.
No, don't say that because that makes me feel worse.
Because those games are great.
Those games are good. Those games are really, really good. Oh no! Our new viewer loves Katana Zero, so this is going to go well for our first experience with the Sockscast. Welcome. So Rad, talk about Katana Zero.
So, I was on a bit of a game slump. You know, I was watching a ton of anime last week and finally caught up, and I looked at my list of, unplayed games and was like, okay, which of these speak to me right now? And I went through the whole thing, and the one that was like, I will play that right now was Katana Zero. And have you ever just played a game and been like, man, y'all really liked Hotline Miami, huh? Where it's like John saying, like, just go through this game and copy every enemy type you can.
Yeah.
I feel like they played Hotline Miami and were just like...
I feel real shitty having this conversation now that I'm like, man, I'm going to rip off Berserk. Hey, these guys copied Hotline Miami.
It's not just like literal... It's not even entirely gameplay stuff because it is a 2D platformer, whereas Hotline Miami, you know, top-down thing and
kind of
way more... It's guns, whereas this is swords, obviously.
Yeah.
But just the overall style and like the music stylings and the visuals and just everything about it is like, hey, y'all remember Hotline Miami? We did that again.
Like, this kind of like made me... I played this and I was just like, man, like, Devolver Digital is just like, what if thing, but also with drugs and violence.
Yeah.
Like,
This
that is
game
very much
literally...
That is very much the Devolver thing at this point.
It's such a weird, or such a specific house style, basically, even though all their games are, you know,
from different devs.
Yeah, from different indie developers. But you look at something like, this game I haven't played, but like Party Hard, I think, also seems to kind of hit this exact same style.
Similar. I feel like it's more neon and kind of very pop-ish, whereas this is like dingy video store, but with drugs.
Yeah.
I've actually never looked at gameplay footage of this. I'm gonna do that now.
It's 2D Hotline Miami with a sword. I mean, it's really not that similar.
I think that's a bit reductive. Like, even though I don't like this game at all, I think that's a bit reductive because it does have its own feel. And the feel is what I very much don't like about it. It's just
that's the other thing, is like
floaty, and I don't like how it feels moving from point to point at all.
Yeah, so you can do a time slowdown thing, but then your character doesn't actually move faster than that, so it's just
everything slows down.
Everything goes to a crawl, like you're moving at like quarter speed or whatever it is.
It's like when you have when you use the slow gear in Mega Man 11, but you don't have the upgrade that makes you move 50% faster. Like it's like that. If you need like a more mainstream kind of
It's pretty much exactly like that, but maybe even slower.
Yeah, it's way slower.
And there's no upgrades or anything, so it's like, So the thing I just kind of don't like about this game is I felt the level design like never really got expressive enough to where it wasn't just,
this is the thing you have to do to finish this level.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Hotline Miami, you can freeform your way through those levels in ways, like, you can do it differently every time, whereas I felt like there isn't player expression here. It's just, here's the thing you have to do, and you have to do it right, because these things are always going to behave in this one specific way.
Like, the enemy AI is much more predictable, I guess, and then the levels are they're much narrower, because... Like in Hotline Miami, you know, you can move in any direction at their whim, so they can build levels out and kind of make them pretty large. Whereas in this, you're always constrained by gravity, so unless they just want to put stairs everywhere, or, you know, the levels are just kind of like, here's a hallway, and then a door, and then another room, and then, you know, there's some stairs up to the next room, like very ABC in a row style stuff. Towards the end, they do get a little more open. Like, there's a few that kind of was like, okay, I'm having some fun here, and then the game ends. So it's like...
So, I did not finish this game. I quit. Yeah. I quit about 4 hours in. And I've heard that this game is not finished.
It's weird. So, like...
Is this like that weird crosscode thing, or...
No, it's probably actually worse than that. I know, I feel so bad for continually dunking on crosscode as well. Crosscode very much ends, and then it goes, if you get the true ending, it's like, unless, and then...
Oh, no.
Not even like unless, but it's like, hey, we'll do some post-game stuff, but it's not finished yet. But the game, like, definitely has a story end. This game, Katana Zero... ends basically with like Act 2 of a trilogy. it ends on like the Empire Strikes Back moment.
Oh, weird.
So like
so like
things,
the story's not finished, but yeah, like June says, like the gameplay, like that's done. Like that game is what it is, and it doesn't feel unfinished. It's the story, and
Yeah.
that be like that would, if I hit that moment, especially after being kind of as on the game as I am, it would have just pissed me off.
yeah, it was like, do you know how at the start of the game it says like 10 days remain or something?
Yeah.
So like you know when the game is going to end.
Yeah.
That doesn't lie basically. When it says like there's 1 day left, it's actually you're on the last level or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then things happen and I got real excited for the story for like a 30 seconds and then the credits started coming on and I just went, ah.
Oof.
Like they tease a thing and it was like, oh, okay. So it's like it's really kind of a weird ending.
Yeah, that bums me out. I really, really struggle with that.
Yeah. There's a part like 2/3 through where these characters give you a choice to die or live.
Mm-hmm.
And like they say, like basically things are gonna go horribly wrong unless you die right here. So I chose die and the game just ends.
Oh,
and
nice.
you can just reload. And you can reload your save and just, keep actually playing the video game.
Okay.
It's weird. It's like it's wanting to have a choice moment and not really doing anything to earn it, I guess.
Right. Like, this is a game I really wish I liked, though.
That's
it
the thing.
bums me out. It really bummed me out that it just doesn't feel good to play to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say it's like, oh, it's a bad game. Like, I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say it's a predictable style from a predictable publisher.
Yeah.
And it's not maybe. There's words I have for this that I just can't. I can't verbalize them for some reason because I'm an idiot.
I mean,
Zach asks if it's better than Azura's. Did Azura's Wrath? Was the DLC out when the game came out, or
No.
did you have?
Oh God,
man. Okay.
Azura's Wrath was a whole big fucked dumb stupid thing, and it was basically Capcom at their worst.
That was real bad. Yeah, I won't
It's
say
literally
this was
the ending of the game is DLC, and you waited a month to buy it.
Oof.
Yeah, that one's real fucked. They've said the story continuation is going to be free, but that was like almost a year ago now.
Yeah, it's been over a year when I checked on the status of this game.
And when you do that, anytime,
I think there's going to be expectations. Is when you put out the thing, I don't think it's wrong to have expectations of, okay, it's been a year since this game came out. Maybe it's my fault for not reading more, but when I go in to play the game, I would hope that by this point it's done. Like, I didn't buy, let's say, I didn't buy Toho Luna Nights and then go in and get mad that only the first 3 levels were finished. No, I waited a year, I came back, and I played it, and hey, the only thing that's not in here is the bonus dungeon, which they took 3 months to put in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was labeled as early access for a while. Wasn't it? I don't dislike this game. I wanted more from it, I guess, because like I said, like I went in with super high expectations because everyone loves it, and it was like the game on my checklist that I was like, oh, the most excited to play for a minute.
Mm-hmm. On your island checklist.
Yeah. Like this is definitely like
this
was definitely like, all right, New Year gaming, let's go. I cannot wait. Here's some games that I'm going to play at the start of the year, and this was on that list. And unfortunately, it just doesn't land for me.
So if I want to hint at some story stuff, because one part made me laugh because it was literally something John had talked about.
Okay.
So in this game, you can slow down time.
Okay.
And like that makes you super strong because, you have... Because in the slow down time, you have extremely good reaction time, and like you can hit enemy bullets back at them, which you wouldn't be able to do in real life, obviously. But basically, there's this scene. There's these interstitial scenes with a therapist who gives you this drug, and then it is kind of later revealed that the drug is related to your time powers.
Okay.
So there's a character later on who's just like, that you're absolutely fucked once that stuff runs out. Polly, you are typing so loud.
It is.
Sony.
It's not a podcast until somebody types very loud into the mic.
Basically, a character threatens you and says that once you run out of that time juice stuff, your perception of time is just literally going to stop.
Yeah.
So you're not going to die.
You're just
even
going
if you do die.
Yeah,
your existence is going to stop. And I'm like, that's literally something John posted on his horny Twitter.
It really is.
Of being stuck for 5,000 years in an instance.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's where
it's like the horniest thing for John now.
Yeah.
Okay, so get stuck in purgatory hell.
Of your own mind, basically, yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that idea of being stuck in the purgatory of your own suspended mind. I love that.
Yeah. The story does go interesting places. They play with the time stuff more than I thought they were going to. And there are some hints at more than there actually is with the conversation system, where you can aside from different you can choose different options to how you respond to people, and they'll either like or dislike that. And you can also interrupt people by clicking too quickly, and they will generally not like that. And there do seem to be some alternate ways things can play out, but at large, the story happens the same way no matter what.
Yeah.
I guess there's an optional boss if you do a extremely specific series of choices.
I was just wondering if there was something in the conversation system where if you just chose all the asshole answers or was just a dick to the kid or something.
I tried to be a dick to the kid, and
it won't let you.
It won't let you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering if there was anything dynamic to all that, or if it was just kind of there's flavor text between missions.
Probably the biggest one is when you go into the hotel and the receptionist is like, "Oh, are you a cosplayer?"
Yeah.
So
that made me laugh. I like that. That was a cute moment.
So basically, when you exit and the cops are there, she'll talk to you again. And you can blow your cover right then, or keep the disguise. Basically, so she'll either cover for you and be like, "Oh, he's a cosplayer.
He's a cosplayer."
Or I was just I think I said it was cosplay on my way out, and she's like, "You said it was a bathrobe the first when I came in." And get him, and then the cops. I had to kill everybody.
Oh shit! It's just cops. Who cares?
Yeah. What then? But then afterwards, your handler is like, "Yeah, we had to dispose of her too, the receptionist."
Oh no! Oh no! And I like the receptionist.
I guess if she survives that encounter, she shows up in the last level as a receptionist somewhere else.
Oh, nice.
But that didn't happen for me.
Whoopsie!
So after that, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna obey the handler," and there's the prison level, so I did the whole stealth thing, which was extremely guided.
Hopefully it's not as bad as the stealth in Hotline Miami 1 was.
I mean, it's just you very see the one path through, basically, because otherwise you're just going to immediately get spotted and have to kill everybody.
Right. Well, you don't even get that option in Hotline Miami. It's just you failed it back to the start. Oh no.
Yeah,
God, that section was rough.
It was real bad.
It's pretty bad. So I finished this game. I was a little disappointed by it, but I could see myself playing it again because I think there is still something to the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing there's a dodge roll, and the dodge roll is better than the time stop for some reason.
Yeah.
Which is weird. So towards the end of the game, when it started to get relatively difficult, I would practice a level using the time stop a lot, and then once I've done it 20 times, it's okay, I just know the exact timing, so I don't even have to use the slow-mo anymore.
Oh, so you just fucking roll through everything.
Yeah, it's basically
nice.
Okay, I'm gonna pick this up, open the door, throw the Molotov, roll, stab that guy in the back, just attack to deflect a bullet. I'm not even using the time stop because I just have everything memorized, and that's, I think, is the problem with the game, is that you can kind of just
it's very easily
paths.
Memorizable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what a speed run of that game looks like, and if they're all as straightforward and follow one very specific strict line.
I mean, that's kind of every speed run though, so I won't fault it too much for that.
Well,
but yeah,
but it's just interesting to think about.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not using the slowdown either. Because
that loses your frames. You
gotta
lose frames on that, man.
You lose a lot of frames in that. So
I
real
like
quickly,
this. Go ahead.
yeah, no, go ahead.
I like this dev, so I'm interested, but I don't.
Yeah,
I don't want to check it out until it's finished.
there's
That's
that.
me.
Yeah,
That's my speed. Go ahead.
There's this other game called My Friend Pedro that came out, and everyone was just like, "Oh, yet another time slowing down shooter," and it's just like,
and it's got that same like in Devolver's behind it.
Yeah,
it's like I don't want to pick because I think Devolver has been a net good for the indie community.
Oh, definitely.
But wow, do you kind of start noticing a very specific kind of style from them? Like, do you want Devolver to pick your game up? Just ask yourself again, what if Feng Shui, but with drugs and violence?
Yeah. Real quick, I played one other game afterwards. So coming off this, I want something to kind of scratch that same itch in a similar vein, and I was almost like, I'll finally play Hotline Miami 2, which I didn't. I ended up blasting through the game called Ape Out.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, it's a top-down Hotline Miami-ish
From Devolver.
From Devolver.
Devolver. Hey, there's no drugs in this one, at least.
That's a good point.
But yeah, you play as an ape who needs to escape. Basically,
it's Ape Escape. It's the Ape Escape sequel we've all been waiting for.
It's the gritty reboot because this game's hella violent.
It is ultra violent. Yes.
You'd think in a game where I almost said it's melee only, and then I realized a whole component of this game is grabbing guards and making them fire their gun on. So, like, when you grab a guard, he'll fire his gun, like, exactly 1 second later, so you can just grab a guard, point it at the other guards, and have him shoot them all.
That's really cool.
It's wild, and then you can throw them, and there's one level that takes place in a skyscraper, so you're just throwing dudes out windows and shit.
That, like, this sounds like the kind of fun player expression that I wanted in Katana Zero.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, I didn't even think of that, where I felt like when you die in this, it shows you the map, so you have a rough idea of where you were, and it shows you which path you took. And yeah, they're really big levels, but it's like the game isn't kill every enemy, it's get to the end.
Just get out.
So, yeah. So you're generally avoiding like as much as you possibly can because it's just keep running, just get away. And enemies don't have like this huge aggro range. You have to be pretty close for them to see you.
Yeah.
And you can sneak up behind them and stuff. So yeah, it's more about just flow and movement and like getting to the end and like, oh, that guy saw me, so I'm just gonna grab his buddy and have
just
them
like
shoot each other.
Yeah.
Fucking human shields with the gorilla.
Like, yeah, like this game looks and sounds really, really fun.
And there's a really cool system where the music is all percussion.
Yeah, it's jazz drums.
Cool.
It changes based on what you're doing at that moment. So like when you grab a guard, like it'll kind of get more excited. And then like as enemies are dying, like the music gets louder and louder. And
that's so like I love dynamic music systems already, but this sounds like it's on an entirely different fucking level.
It is. I think you kind of stop to notice it after a bit. I think the problem with this game is that it's very short, like really short. I think I beat it in about 2 hours, like 3 hours.
But this does not sound like a set of mechanics and a vocabulary that carries itself for a very long time.
No, because I felt like at the end of the first world, I was like, "Is that it?" And then the second world, they're all different stories. Basically, like World 1 is jungle base, basically that you have to escape, and then the second level you just start at the top of a skyscraper,
right,
and have to go down and then eventually escape from there. And then like third world is like military base. So like and the music style changes a bit between each one, but basically the mechanics never change. So like by world 3 I was like, yeah, I got it.
Cool.
I felt like the game could have maybe just been the first 2 levels and kind of said all it needed to.
It still sounds like something that I'm probably going to check out at some point, because it's just like definitely like it seems to scratch the itch in a way that Katana Zero just isn't going to for me.
Yeah.
Oh, so Bennett Foddy worked on this. I didn't know that.
Who did?
Oh, interesting.
Bennett Foddy, the
Bennett Foddy. Oh, interesting.
Quap. Cool.
Not just Quap. There's the getting over
it with Bennett Foddy.
Okay, and Warp, the one where you climb a mountain. That one's also good.
Okay.
I actually like that more than Quap.
All those games, but with a gorilla.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what this is.
No, it's not. But I'm saying you should put a gorilla in Getting Over It. It'd probably be easier to play as.
A gorilla? No, it's Getting Over It, and it's the same. But a gorilla is trying to kill you the whole time.
Oh god!
Oh god! So you're one of the guards.
Wins.
You're one of the guards, and you've got to quap your way out of the situation.
And you're in a cauldron, and you can only move with a stick.
I think that gorilla's winning in about 5 seconds.
Less.
So, I'll throw it to John.
Nice. There you go.
John, what you been up to?
Let's start with a little shmup section to kind of follow up last time. Remember, last time I was trying to beat Life Force in 1 credit?
Yeah.
I succeeded.
Very nice.
Pretty badass. I no-missed Life Force. It felt pretty
missed
good.
it, too. Yeah, like, you not only 1cc'd it, you missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's be clear. You 1cc'd it and had a death at the very end, and were so distraught that you had to miss it.
Well, it's the most bullshit death in the game, honestly.
Those hitboxes are bullshit.
Those hitboxes on those fucking beams are completely wrong.
Yeah, seriously.
So fast.
So that's why I didn't think he should feel bad about dying there, because it just seems completely random.
Well, this was also, I did the first clear when I still thought that the only way through stage 4 boss was to flip a coin. And then I got a slightly more consistent strat, which I got to use 3 times, and then I no-missed the game.
Nice.
So, but I did find a more consistent strat for the evil bouncy ball boss from hell.
Yeah.
So now I've beaten Life Force. So the next one for me is Gradius 2.
Woo! That is infinitely more doable than Gradius 3.
Yeah, don't worry. I wasn't planning to. That wasn't next in the queue. After Gradius 2 was Arcade Gradius 3. Maybe SNES Gradius 3.
Arcade Gradius 3 with the no slowdown patch. They should make that.
They did. Some people beat it.
On the arcade version.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
They also did. That was on one of the PS2 re-releases. You could turn off.
Oh my god! I was joking. Oh no.
So that was a fun adventure, because Life Force is weird. It's much more like puzzly and set piecey than Gradius 1. So there's a long stretches of the game that are kind of easy once you've learned them, and then like bizarrely really hard parts. Yeah. So it was a very like awkward, cute, interesting clear, and I had a good time with it. And it was still like only 13 minutes or so. So it was that's not a very exhausting clear to pursue, I think.
No, I think that, like, of all the 1cc shmups that you could have pursued at this point in time, especially when you're dealing with arcade shmups in particular, like, Life Force is definitely, like, I'm not sure it's one I would have recommended, because it's not really one that I really think about much, but it's definitely one where I looked at it and go, oh, yeah, that makes 100% sense, that's where you went.
I got the Konami Arcade Collection for that. So then I actually beat a 2-looped Scramble, which felt nice.
Yo, Scramble's so good. Scramble is it's such a lovely little game.
I know, and it's nice because there's no power up, so when you die, you just are at your same strength.
Yeah.
It just feels nice.
Like I played the shit out of that on the DS.
Nice. Yeah, it just feels good. I could not figure out stage 4 consistently.
Yeah, it's
the missiles are coming up from the top of this, like, you have like very little time to react to the missiles.
By that point it's kind of bullshitty, but
a little bit. But
it's like it's not a long game though, so getting there is not really like if you lose a 1cc there, it's no big deal.
Exactly.
Because that game is literally 5 minutes.
Yes. I know people can figure it out. There's a strat for it where you just like are constantly moving like in anticipation of it shooting up, and then you can react in time.
Yeah.
I could not quite nail it down, but it was still very cute and felt good. And then the one I actually had the most fun with of all of them, I played the shit out of Twin Bee.
Yeah, Twin Bee is really... I'm not a big fan. Like, I don't like the games that much, but I'm interested in hearing about this.
So I played a bunch of the original arcade Twin Bee. I actually downloaded Daytona Twin Bee yesterday and played a good chunk of it because it feels great. It's that's the mid-90s one, the second arcade game. It's just beautiful and it feels fantastic.
Very pretty.
So, do you know the whole... Yeah? Sorry. Do you know the whole timeline of this series? Was Stinger like an NES original?
Oh, yeah. Stinger was... Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Twin Bee, then Stinger, then Twin Bee 3, which didn't come out over here. Yeah. Twin Bee Game Boy. Yeah. Daytona Twin Bee. Twin Bee SNES.
So a lot of them were home only at that point.
Yeah.
It was pretty much just... And then Stinger was like the only one that came out over here, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. I didn't know. I thought there might have been an arcade version of Stinger.
Mm-hmm. No, that was Twin Bee 2, basically.
Cool. Yeah.
And then Daytona Twin Bee is the second arcade game. So there's 3 arcade games and a bunch of three NES. And they did port Twin Bee to the NES. So they had all 3 games on the NES there for a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is a Xevious clone, I think it's fair to say. Because you have it is a scrolling map where you have some enemies you can only hit with the bomb that targets right in front of you. And some enemies you have to fire in the air, and you shoot clouds. The clouds come by, and then bells pop out, and then you bounce the bells in the air with your shot. And every now and then they change colors, and then if you snag them, that's how you get your power-ups. And if you snag chains of bells without letting any of them drop off the screen, then it goes from like 500 points to 1,000 points to 2,000 points, 5,000 points to 10,000 points. So if you just keep juggling the bells and not and collecting them without them falling off the screen, then you can keep getting like 10,000 points over and over and over again, and it feels real good.
So many points in a video game. Remember when that happened? Remember when you had those points in video games, man? It's fucking wild.
That's what shmups are, scoring systems.
Yeah, I know. So this is I did not engage with the scoring system in Life Force much, but I do engage with it here because I got to. I sort of 1 credit cleared it, or I sort of missed it because it's very ambiguous where the ending of the game is.
Oh yeah, because it loops the way it does.
Because of how it loops, and because the airborne enemies are out of sync with the background enemies.
Yeah, it's real weird.
The background keeps scrolling during the boss fights, so whatever the alignment of the regular enemies and the background enemies depends on how quickly you kill the bosses.
That's wild.
And there's about 6 levels worth of background and only 5 levels worth of bosses. So I got to like level 7 and 950,000 points. So like a hair under 1 million. So I've actually been loading it back up because I want to I got to like level 6 before dying. So I want to like get into like level 7 or 8. And also I really want to crack 1 million points.
Points. See, June in chat is making a shmup without lives or score. We're gonna hate it.
Shit.
It's like going into the Sockscast dumpster.
Yeah.
Right in.
Oh no.
No, absolutely. Keep us apprised of that because we like shmups a lot.
And also, all of us, like, Rhett made a bunch of shmups without any lives.
Rhett has made a lot of good shmups where the score doesn't really fucking matter. So, and they don't have lives either.
I honestly forgot that I just put a score on there, even though it doesn't do anything at all.
And then I made the 2 without any lives or score before making expansion.
Yeah, you are actually in really good company here.
Yep, don't worry.
Okay,
but I do like the arcade style. I also tried a bunch of Thundercross, which is mostly a little bit weak, I think. But it has a very cool stage 4 boss because the whole game you're chasing down this diamond that's possessing all the bosses, and then it has this really cool sound as it comes into the screen and possesses the bosses. And then the start of stage 4, the diamond comes in before the music starts, possesses the boss, and you realize the whole level is going to be fighting this one giant battleship. The music starts.
Yeah.
And it's like this cool metal tuned like the best in the game.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh boy, yeah, I'm on board for this. Oh, this is my shit. And then the diamond doesn't show up at all in the last level. So
that's a big old missed opportunity.
Yeah, sure is.
Talk about just almost having your narrative through line and dropping it at the 10-yard line.
Just whiffing it. Just totally whiffing it. I have a Thundercross fan friend who says that Thundercross 2 plays it a lot better.
Yes, I like Thundercross 2 a bit more. I'm not super jazzed on the first one.
I also play the Japanese version because the American version, they basically just yank out half the weapons.
Yep.
And they change the option system for the worse.
Oh, yeah.
And they add this dumb ugly smart bomb thing.
It's very much a case of like a Konami game getting like just completely gutted of anything that makes it good when it leaves Japan.
Yeah. Because the coolest thing with Thundercross was that once you get fully powered up, it just you can basically recover from anywhere. Like I didn't have any trouble recovering because it's easy, and I was at the tail end of my shmup binge, so I didn't clear it. I was like, oh, I want to do other stuff now. But and the coolest thing is that once you're powered up, you can collect power ups and get temporary power ups that make your gun like really strong for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I really like that because in something like Twinbee, like I get fully powered up in the first level, and then the power up system doesn't matter for the rest of the game. And then I just die instantly once I game over instantly after dying once.
Yeah.
And this it's a much more thoughtful modern system, I think.
Cool.
Super Zalixer does that. Yes, I really like that.
Actually does.
So power ups don't matter. Versus something like Toho, where after the first level, or
you need to be at full power at all times, or it's pointless.
And when you die, you only lose a little bit, so you can still recover, but the P's just stop mattering for most of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's tried to address that, like in Mountain of Faith. I think your bombs were your power.
Bombs are your power, and I think that's a good give and take. But everybody fucking hates Mountain of Faith because it's very straightforward. Yeah. But I think it's actually a really good game.
And Subterranean Animism does the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like both. I like those. Yeah, I like those approaches. So that was my shmup binge experience. I had good times with them.
Total shmuppage, bro.
I know. So I want to play more Daytona Twin because it's very pretty.
Cool.
There's one more kind of light one, I think, that I can just kind of hammer out. I did finish Queen's Wish: The Conqueror.
I've never even heard of this.
So this is the Spiderweb Software who has been making it's this one guy. It's Jeff Vogel, and he's been making indie PC RPGs since the 90s.
This guy. Okay, yeah. I know who this guy is.
And he's got like 25 games because he's just been cranking them out. And they're mostly like pretty well liked. The people that like Spiderweb Software RPGs really like them.
Oh yeah.
And then the brand spanking newest one from 2019 was Queen's Wish: The Conqueror. It was a new engine, new approach.
Is this the one where you had to do a colonialism?
Yes.
Oh, this is the one where I had to do a colonialism. And it had an iPhone release, which is new to the series. Oh. And I was like, oh, yes, I can play this on the go now instead of playing a game where I have to use a mouse and keyboard, which makes it stop being a game and makes it work. So I was really on board with that, and I started playing it, and it took like 2 months and like 50 hours, and I finished it because it turned out to be a very beefy experience.
Yeah, this one ended up going on way longer than I thought it would, because I thought you would either tap out or that the game was only maybe 10 to 15 hours. But no, this game is a beast.
This one he took almost 2 years on, which is abnormal because most of them he gets done in about a year. But this was a brand new engine, a brand new world.
Shining like a pearl, the whole new world. Only Rhett will get that.
Okay. I looked at a blog post, and he summarized all the things that he thought were going to make people mad about it, his fans that would make people mad about it because it changed a lot. And all the changes made me happy.
Oh.
Like, you don't get experience for beating random enemies. You only get experience when you finish the dungeon.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Cool. All right, awesome. You have to actually finish the quest to level up. You can there's skill trees, and you can respec at any point.
Nice.
Which is at any point while you're in your base, so that you can't just do it in the middle of a dungeon.
Well, that's fine.
Smart.
Like, look, any game that lets you respec or change the way your characters are built and doesn't, like, hide that behind some either, like, insurmountable, like, resource dump or just, like, oh, it's hidden in some really fucking weird way. If a game lets you respec, that's totally awesome. That's one of the big reasons I like Labyrinth of Toho a lot.
Mm-hmm. Enemy people that aren't in your party level up at the same pace.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
So basically, at any point, you can completely retool your party loadout, because people from the different cultures have different kind of not like different cultural abilities that based on like. It's not like based on race.
Okay, I see. That's what I didn't want to say it because I was going to pray that that's not what it is.
It's not based on race. It's like, oh, this culture does a lot of magic, so they can do a lot more.
The mages.
It's not racially based. It's culturally based. They specifically have a bunch of varied races in each of the 3 nations that you conquer, which was nice a little bit because. There's some loaded stuff happening because it's very much because the game literally has Conqueror in the title, and it sort of engages with a lot of the.
It's very much predicated on you doing the colonialism.
Yeah, because your mom really wants you to.
Your mom will really love you if you do the colonialism.
Mm-hmm. And it leans into that, especially during the climax, in some cool ways that made me happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on, like, there's a lot of, like, Catan language and how you manage your resources, because when you build up your forts, that also makes you stronger in combat.
Oh, right.
And all the quests, like, give you more resources for your forts, and that feeds... It's a bunch of, like, pleasing systems where the colonialism feeds into making you stronger. And then the writing, it's all tied to wrestling with that. And it's not, like... I don't think it's probably like a super like thoughtful deep text look at that, but it like wrestles with it a little bit. Just enough to make me happy. Like there's melancholy moments
right
that needed to be there, I think. And you can also say no, as far as I understand
but
it.
But then your mom won't love you.
And then your mom will get mad at you, and I could not deal with that. Oh yeah, and June points out there are no trash items. In the previous games, you go around and pick up like cup, spoon, fork,
and you
whatever,
sell those probably for money,
or drop them later because you run out of inventory space.
Jeez.
And then in this one, it's like no, all the items are useful, and there are items that are just like useless, but then they instantly convert to money when you pick them up.
Oh.
That's not as exciting as having to lug it back to a merchant.
Isn't it? I know, it's so
Oh no, I'm totally on board with just immediately finding trash item and converting it to money. I think that's great.
Yep.
Like Torchlight had a great idea in that like you had a pet, and when you were full on trash items, you could load the pet up with trash items and send it back to town, and it would just come back like a minute or two later with all your money. And like, that's a real fucking smart idea.
That's awesome. And the combat is all on a grid, and all the fights are on the same map that you are exploring, which I like. And also, they're all set up like ahead of time, like they're kind of
they're scripted.
It's like Chrono Trigger, where there's every enemy encounter is specifically set up for every area. So it has this very nice like handcrafted feel to all the dungeon. So
just like everybody's favorite video game, Final Fantasy 13. All the fights are scripted. They're scripted. They're right there. They're all catered to that area.
So don't you? Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, don't you fight like some of the same mobs though, like 7 times in a row?
I just don't know if
it's in different configurations. Well, they play with it in different configurations, and then like they vary up how each enemy configuration plays with each. So like you have to kind of play around with your paradigms a bit. to deal with the like yeah, you are gonna fight, like, okay, yeah, like this is the 4th encounter in a row that has a SciComm trooper in it, but there are also like 3 other different types of SciComm troopers that are doing different things, so you've got to alter your paradigm for it.
Okay, so they mix it up. That's all.
They mix it up. They keep adding. They add and subtract to the
Okay.
formula. It's fine.
Pat said.
I had a moral choice. I bought Final Fantasy 13 last year, after selling it in 2010.
Wow, 10 years
That's
later.
literally like everybody's story with that game, though. They played it and were like, no, this is bad because IGN said it was bad. And then they sold it, and then now it's just like, oh, like in 2020, it's okay to like Final Fantasy 13.
and then like a month ago, I had a moral choice where Final Fantasy 12 was on sale, and I had a $30 PSN gift card, and they also had Saga Scarlet Grace, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And I went with Final Fantasy 12.
I thought Scarlet Grace
Oh,
was
wow.
I thought Scarlet Grace was the no-brainer. Like, RPG Site gave Scarlet Grace their RPG of the year. How fucking crazy is that?
It's wild, yeah.
That in the year 2020, a Saga game is getting the kind of love that Scarlet Grace is getting. And John
It's made me very
Thayer
happy.
was like, no, I need Final Fantasy
Yeah.
12. This is like when you passed over fucking Dark Souls for a year because you wanted to play Final Fantasy 8. Remember that, Saga,
is
the
popular
podcast?
now.
Remember that? Remember when we went through that bullshit?
The
Saga.
Final Fantasy 12 was 50% off. Saga Scarlet Grace was full price. So like I could just jump in and buy Saga at any point. It'll be the same price. But that was like
saying
a
that
deal.
Saga is just not worth full price. But Final Fantasy is worth half price.
Saga's worth full price, and I'll buy it at any point. And Final Fantasy 12, yeah, it's worth half price probably, maybe, in the updated version where I actually get the cool shit to play with,
Like a lot earlier.
a lot earlier instead of 20 hours in or whatever.
Yeah.
So Queen's Wish, the fighting is very. I played it on veteran mode. And it made the fights like very crunchy, and it's completely open ended. So like from a half hour in, you can just go to any of these quest lines across the whole world and just chew your way through it. So because it was hard, I would like go like 20% into one of the country's quest lines, and then it would get hard, and then I'd go do 20% of another ones, and then I'd go 20% of other ones. I just kept like poking at the edges of what I could conceivably win. And it was a very like nice Dragon Quest. Like it reminded me of like Dragon Quest 3, where it's just this very nice friction to exploring. And money mattered for the whole game. I cared about money for the whole game. Cared about XP. I cared about all my resources.
That is a hard thing to do over the course of a very long RPG, is to like, because at some point in every RPG, man, money just becomes water.
And that never really happened with this one. I kept thinking really hard about my character builds. The final boss fight, the final gauntlet is very taxing, and it was very exciting to kind of puzzle my way through. It took me like 2 hours. So basically, it just like all the number crunching of an RPG. This just kind of nailed. All the little puzzle fights, it just kind of nailed. It was really open-ended, so you can just explore and do things and poke at these different challenges at your leisure. The dungeons were like decently varied. Like a lot of it comes down to the same sort of rhythms, where a lot of the combat fights, you kind of figure out a strat, and then you can apply that to a bunch of different enemies. So there's repetition there. But like I didn't really feel like there was... And then the climax was like really exciting. And it had a cool mystery at its core, that the answer to the mystery was suitably like interesting.
Oh, nice.
So it was just kind of perfect.
Oh, damn.
which is sort of wild for like a 50-hour game. And like it's a very humble kind of perfect, where it's this very jank clip art, not clip art, but well, it is clip art. He does specifically like pull assets from like open license resources.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
So especially sounds. There's no music.
Oh, that's a little. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a game gets its identity from having a really good soundtrack, and that
This does not. This one doesn't do that. It is a
Ooh.
old school RPG.
Understandable. I mean, I get what that,
Yep.
that's exactly what he's going for, and that's totally
Mhm.
cool that you stick to that vision.
And this is the first classic Western PC style RPG that I have finished.
Oh wow, you've tried a lot of these.
I have poked at like 15 or so over
I
the
think
years.
like what was KOTOR the one you got the farthest in prior
No,
to
that I
this?
started KOTOR after that.
Okay,
After this one,
okay.
and I haven't given up yet, even though
Alright.
it's bad.
Oh, oof.
Did you not?
Um,
So you never finished Fallout?
I never finished Fallout 1. I want to go back to Fallout 1 because I'm pretty sure that one's good.
Yeah,
That's
Fallout
the other
1,
one I thought.
Yeah,
like was your kind of big.
like-
Hey, these are good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the good one. But I like had to go on a journey to arrive at it being good in my head, and then by the time I was at the end of that journey, I wasn't ready to keep playing it. So I'm
you
gonna get
never
back to it.
So you never finished Mass Effect either.
Oh no, I dropped out like the last planet before the climax.
That's the best part.
But to be fair, Mass
It's
Effect
literally
is
when the
bad.
game quote unquote gets good.
Cool. So to be fair, Mass Effect 1 is bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Mass Effect 1 is not
God.
like if I ever I don't like if I ever play the Mass Effect series again, which I probably won't, because I'm just like I've had my fill of that. But if I ever did, like I have the story so far thing that you can have that you can play before playing Mass Effect 2 that lets you carry over decisions from Mass Effect 1, so I don't actually have to play Mass Effect 1. I can just play the story so far and make the decisions and then import that save into Mass Effect 2.
I remember when I first started playing Mass Effect and realizing, like, oh, this is an RPG. Like, if you use the sniper rifle and shoot somebody in the head, that doesn't mean you just shot them in the head.
That doesn't mean... Well, it means you shot them in the head, but it means you did maybe 4 hit points of damage.
And then it does a dice roll, yeah. They made it much more of a proper shooter with the second one.
I'm glad to hear that, because Mass Effect 1 was pretty rough. And also, I remember hearing people, like, rave about certain story beats in Mass Effect 1 and getting to them and them just being the most clunky, awkward things in the world. Like, oh man, the reveal of the Reapers is one of my favorite moments in storytelling.
Man,
and then you get to it and it's this jank-ass Sonic Adventure cutscene. And it's just, they don't know, and I'm playing KOTOR, and every cutscene is like that. They don't know how to make movies. They don't know how to do anything.
They barely know how
They
to
don't
make
know how to
characters...
write.
They barely know how to make characters feel like characters.
They don't know how to make fighting feel good.
No, they don't.
Like,
Not
the
in
only
those early
thing-
games.
Oh, boy. The best thing in KOTOR is the music, and it's by, like, a rapist. So it's like, oh, cool, great. It's the Jeremy Soule joint. So is Mass Effect, I think. I can't remember. So that's not great. Sorry to bring the mood down there. It's just like, oh, cool. This is not a great vibe. I like the one thing in KOTOR is I'm gonna go back to that pretty soon.
Sure you are.
Yeah. No, I went all last year without giving up, dropping a single game that I'd like committed to.
Holy shit.
I know. I'm not gonna break that streak for KOTOR. I beat it. I didn't break it for Suikoden. I'm not gonna break it for KOTOR.
God.
Ugh.
I'm trying to think if I dropped anything. I don't know. Oh, I did drop something this week, so yeah.
I know what you dropped this week and it made me mad. I know your playtime. I saw it. Very angry at you.
There's a couple things.
We'll talk about it
like,
later. We'll talk about it later.
I'm gonna get back to that.
Sure. We'll talk about it later.
There's a couple things where I played 45 minutes of Golden Sun, and I was like, nah.
Golden Sun,
good.
look, man, Golden Sun are okay RPGs if you are 15 in 2003.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I played it, and I was like, oh, it feels like Arafel.
Oof, 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 oof. Yeah, Arafel was
One of these
probably
days he's
heavily
gonna be
influenced.
listening.
Oh, boy. So that was any questions on Queen's Wish the Conqueror? It's much better than every BioWare game.
There you go. Put that on the back.
Maybe
Put that on the back of the
Baldur's
box.
Gate is okay. Maybe Baldur's Gate is okay, like, because it's 2D, so it probably feels better.
Mhm.
Maybe it has good writing instead of bad, boring writing with shitty writing.
What about Neverwinter Nights?
That's 3D, and it looks real jank. It looks like an early 2000s MMO,
Well,
but like as a single player RPG.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all like that's actually the best thing about Coder is that when just exploring the little worlds kind of reminds me of PSO.
John, I bet Tango Gemini's going to recommend the Sonic game.
Oh jeez.
So who knows? Maybe BioWare has some good stuff in there.
Maybe.
Besides Mass Effect 2, which I'm pretty sure is good.
The best BioWare game is MDK2.
Boy, I called that one.
Yeah.
Also, MDK2 is really good.
Yeah.
All right. Points.
It's BioWare.
Points to BioWare.
They made a shooter before. A bad shooter of Mass Effect.
That's it. I think I probably should have held off on Queensware. So, Polly.
Yo!
What have you been up to?
Well, last time we were together, I had played through Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 1.
Ooh, that treated you pretty well. I remember.
That was a good time. That was some good, crunchy Digital Devil Saga-ing. It was some good, crunchy dungeon crawling. Felt real good. It beat my ass when it was supposed to, and then I beat its ass when I was like, hey, I know how to play the video game now, and I'm smart, so watch me do the thing where I know how to exploit a thing or two, because your systems are a little exploitable here and there, but not so exploitable that I still didn't get my ass kicked once or twice by the end. So... And then I was like, I'm going to put off Digital Devil Saga 2 for a while, maybe. And then I didn't. And then I decided to play Digital Devil Saga 2.
And how to treat you.
Man, there's something about this game that when I started playing it, I had an uh-oh go off in the back of my head for some reason. It kept screaming. It kept saying, uh-oh, uh-oh. It was like ICQ. It was like ICQ. It was going, uh-oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, like very
I
much
get that
like
reference.
that.
We're old.
So Digital Devil Saga 2 has an entirely different setting than the first game. In fact, I would almost say it is like 100% the opposite direction of where we had this kind of like dead and lifeless junkyard kind of setting in the first Digital Devil Saga. We moved to kind of like the real world, I guess, is what it is, and even though it's still kind of like dead and desolate in a lot of the same ways as the junkyard, for some reason, I just feel way more disconnected from it. Like it is a world where the sun shining turns people into stone because it's a weird virus going around. They're still trying to play into that whole, man, you gotta eat people to live, and they're still not delivering on that at all. Like, it's just like, look, man, you all wanted there to be a way for me to earn abilities in the video game, and you're trying to make it a narrative point too, but I'm still not buying it because I literally don't see anybody eating anybody.
Because it's not edgy enough.
Like this game needed to be more edgy. It's really what it needed. Like it literally needs to be more edgy. Is kind of part of the problem, is that it's not edgy enough. It doesn't go far enough, and it's not making me believe the stakes.
Is this like not a direct story sequel?
It is a direct story sequel, and the fact that it takes place literally 5 minutes after the first one.
Oh,
like you jump right in to after the conclusion of Digital Devil Saga and the crazy shit that goes on there, and then you're kind of just thrown into this new world where there's kind of like, they're telling me there's stakes, but I just ain't believing them. Like, and not like good steaks, like as in I want to nom eat steaks. Like, no, there's not those, because if they promised those and they didn't deliver on them, I would not like this game even more than I already don't like this game. So, but there's just something about this game's story and setting that feel entirely off and bad, and it's not resonating at all. Like, and it's trying to tell me more about these characters that like I was only getting hints of about in the first game, and it was just like, I'm here, there's something here, there's meat here, and then they deliver on the meat, and I'm just like, I don't care at all.
Oh no.
So I don't know, like, and this is kind of like, they're trying to be edgy with the story, but I guess they're just not going far enough or something. I don't know what it is about this story and these characters that I had an interest in the first game, and they only hinted about, whereas now they're starting to tell me the concrete facts. And it's not that the concrete facts are bad. It's just, I for some reason, I'm sitting there, it's washing over me, and I'm like, ain't give a fuck, dude. Just don't care.
Brutal.
It's so weird, and I don't know why it's happening. So it's a dungeon crawler. We go back and we just, at least there's that, right? Like I can just I can still sink my teeth into some good dungeon crawling. The dungeons are bad.
No.
Oh God, they're bad. I knew that when I got into the second dungeon, and it was just like, here's a forced stealth sequence. Oh no.
Oh, right.
And then it's just like, oh, there's only actually one way to do this sequence as well. And if you don't figure it out, oh my God. So it's one of the worst it's one of the worst points of bad game design I think I've ever seen, where if you fail the stealth sequence, you are thrown into an unavoidable, unrunnable battle where the enemy gets first turn, can and will wipe your entire party. So, you get to set through your characters getting killed for about 30 seconds while this boss does what it's going to do. You have to sit through the loading screen to get back to the title screen. You have to reload your file. You have to spend about a minute to a minute and a half getting back to the room where you lost to try again. And if you fail, it's that whole 1 to 3 minute cycle all over again. And I spent like an hour trying to do this. There is literally only one path through, because it's a forced chase sequence, and there are also like barriers that you can run into that stop you for 2 seconds, and then you can start running again. But there's really only like one definite path and definite timing through this entire sequence to get to the end to where you need to be, that will get you through without you actually running and bumping into the boss and initiating the fight that you can't run away from. Or it's dumb. It was just like, wow, I almost wanted to put the game into the paper shredder that I have that also destroys the discs.
I can't believe you fucked with that for an hour.
I fucked with that for an hour, and it was like,
I would do it like I would give it like 10 minutes and just look up YouTube, like, what's the path through?
I you know me, I'm stubborn. And
stubborn?
I'm stubborn, and to the point where I probably shouldn't be. I should have probably just looked it up. But it was just like, whatever. We're done. We're out of here. We did it. Let's get back to the good, meaty dungeon crawling and building my characters and stats, and it's good.
Woo!
We're doing it
All
again.
the good stuff.
All right, we go to the next dungeon. The next dungeon is a straight line. The next dungeon is a straight line with locked doors where you go down twisting hallways to the left or the right to open the door down the middle to proceed to another locked door where there are twisting paths down the left and right sides. Those are 2 of those dungeons in a row that are literally just, it is a straight line, and then you go down alternate paths to unlock the door and then walk all the way back.
So that's dungeons 3 and 4?
That's dungeons 3 and 4.
Oh, man.
Then I get to dungeon 5, which is where I kind of just stopped playing because guess what we got?
Was it a straight line with some winding paths?
No. It is actually a dungeon with lots of paths.
It's a teleporter maze.
It's a teleporter maze! And it's the kind of teleporter maze where you'll go and you'll get to a fork, right? And it's choose left or right. But these are 3-pronged forks. So it's choose left, right, or center. Choose the right one, or we're going to fire you all the way back. To make all the same fucking teleporter choices again.
Fun.
Yeah, it's real fucking fun. And all of the fights are just with the most annoying enemy types that they could pack in here. Where it's just like, I probably don't have a weakness to get more press turns for these kinds of enemies, because who invests in nerve skills? Nobody. Literally nobody buys Tentarafu willingly. and that's sort of where I'm at this dumb game. Is like, oh look, the fucking teleporter maze, and like the first time that I went into the wrong teleporter and it booted me halfway back through the dungeon, because it's just, that's all this dungeon seems to be. It's like, there's also like a darkness gimmick, and there are also certain rooms where you take damage, so if you didn't buy the items to not take damage or to light the rooms back up, you're fucked. The first time it shot me back halfway through the dungeon, but because I picked the wrong goddamn door, I just turned the game off. It's like, I didn't even save. I don't know where my last save is at all. I just turned the game off. I was so over it. Man, like, I don't know what happened to this game. Everybody's like, oh man, now you get to play the good one. I'm like, what are you talking about? I played the good one when I played Digital Devil Saga 1.
That's so weird.
And like, this is the one where I talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, now you're finally playing the good one. I'm like, what are you saying?
Huh.
It sounds like it might be a sunk cost thing. Where,
okay, maybe
I got all the way.
Okay, it does. Okay, Jetstorm in chat says, no, DDS2 is not the better one, apparently.
Yeah. I saw you talking to Lafayette.
Yeah.
Also thought the first one's way better.
Yeah, like, at least a couple people are with me in that, like, no, the first one way better. Apparently, like, there's a very bad final dungeon, too, which is real good. It's fantastic. Like, that's what you want. You want your final dungeon to be the worst one.
Do you know how it's bad? Or did they elaborate?
I don't know how it's bad, because I was like, don't spoil me. I don't want to know how it's bad, because there is a chance that I may go back to this game at some point. I may look up.
Yeah.
I may
look up the teleporter maze.
I might look up the teleporter solution, because fuck teleporter mazes. If you have a teleporter maze in your video game, guess what? You have made the laziest game design decision of your life and of your career, because there is not a person on the planet Earth who loves teleporter mazes, who thinks that puzzle mazes that have no fucking logic, if there was like something that could even telegraph what's the right path to take in this teleporter maze? Because, hey, guess what? I've played games that do that, where it's just like, oh, it's like a repeating dungeon or something, where, guess what, man? Ocarina of Time. It's got a fucking teleporter maze. Guess what it does? It telegraphs you on what the right thing to do is. There's a teleporter maze in East 1. That makes sense.
I was just thinking, because like I played East Origin, and like that has a teleporter maze, but it's like,
but it's very
small.
It's not labyrinthine. It's not the basis of the entire fuck dungeon.
Yeah, it's just big enough that it's confusing. Where like, but it's also big enough that like without pulling out a pen and paper, I could like kind of keep a pretty good vision of it in my head, and you can see a bunch of other parts of the level from your vantage point.
It's very fast as well. Like this is like,
there aren't any chests that I missed.
Yeah,
I can see that.
This is that era of East game that is very fast too, where like if you run into the wrong mirror, you're literally back there in 15 seconds because you can just run past everything. This is a game with random encounters, with a very high random encounter rate, obnoxiously high at some points, because it's literally like, I took 2 steps, video game. I think I deserve a little more than that. But yeah, I'm not enjoying Digital Devil Saga 2. Like, just from the fucking jump of just like...
It's weird how immediately you kind of sensed that something was off about this one.
Like, I don't even know why, but just like the setting, the story, the characters all feel wrong now. And I don't know why.
I wonder how you would have reacted to this. Probably the same, honestly, if you'd come at it like a year later.
Maybe even like half a year later or something.
Yeah.
Like I had originally planned of maybe coming back in a couple of months, but like I was like, I still want a dungeon crawl. I still want to fight things and see numbers pop out of them.
Probably wants to fight.
I want to fight. But yeah, man, for some reason though, DDS2 not clicking, and I don't know if I'm gonna go back to it. Like,
life's too short.
It might be. Like, I don't know how far I am into the game. I've put, I think, 16 to 18 hours into it so far, and the first one was about 35.
Yeah, I think it's about the same length.
So, like, I'm maybe about halfway through, and, like, if there's more just awful, shitty dungeon design... Like, there's not been a good dungeon in this game! None of them have been good! Like, look, I'm fine with dumb box and corridor mazes. I'm fine with that. Give me that. That's what dungeon crawling is for the most part. But it's just like, there's something very insulting about a hallway that you go down a little bit and then it gets blocked off again. Now you go down another dumb side path. Like, I don't know.
And they did that twice.
They did it
in a row.
twice in a row. And they did the same thing with DDS1 where they had 2 dungeon types in a row, where they had like you fall down, like you stepped on a thing and then you fall down 1 floor and have to come back up if you fuck it up. They had 2 of those in a row, and that didn't bother me as much as the dumb hallway for some reason. This hallway just sticks in my fucking craw and I don't know why.
It's sort of like that. Go ahead.
The ultimate would be if you get through the teleporter dungeon and the next one is another teleporter dungeon.
I would literally take the disc downstairs to my paper shredder that also has a disc destroyer on it and just run that motherfucker through. It's real satisfying when you put discs in there.
Right now it just feels like I don't know what this game could do to win you back, so I'm not sure. It doesn't sound
like
worth
I don't
going back
know,
to.
and I don't even like the character progression system feels a little more grindy than it used to be as well. Like, you're still learning skills in the same way in that you equip a mantra and then you devour enemies or just fight more fights to get the skills that are listed on the mantra, but the way the grid is set up, like, you have to go through and, like, I don't know. Like, doing, like, they say that you can work together with characters to open more mantras, and it's just like, you know what? It would be real easy. Like, I don't really see how that works. Like, if you, like, surround certain portions of the grid, you can open secret skills, I guess. Like, so you can, like, work together to have characters unlock secret skills in that way, but you still have to, like, put on the secret skill mantra to learn it. I don't know. It just feels more grindy to me. And I think maybe it's because, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just even talking about this game, I'm just like, I don't fucking care. Like, there's just something real bad.
This isn't even a game losing you. This is a game, like, making you actively hate it.
Yeah, like, the more I think about, like, going back to playing that game, it's just like, I gotta do the fucking teleporter maze. And, like, probably experience more bad story. Like, I don't even know if the story's bad, I just don't care for some reason. Like, for some reason, when we changed the fucking setting, you lost me entirely.
So that's why I thought, like, when you said it was a totally new setting, I thought it wasn't a direct sequel. Instead, it just seems to kind of jump cut with the same characters.
I know the plot twist at the end, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I know the different setting.
Yeah, like, the different setting, and it's just like, for some reason, like, as soon as I booted that game up, my brain was just going, oh no! Oh no!
Uh-oh!
Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Digital Devil Saga.
This is such a bummer, because, like, you played like 3 Idea Factory dungeon crawlers in a row that bummed you the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then you played Digital Devil Saga, and I was like, oh, it's like air after being
Faith
underwater.
restored after I dumped Idea Factory forever. They're done. Idea Factory's done, by the way.
And then this just pulled you back underwater. Like, nope, you don't get good dungeons, Polly.
Oh yeah, like the DDS2 has a great battle theme. Holy shit, it's so good.
Okay, you said one nice thing about it.
Yeah, there you go. My requisite one nice thing about everything that I hate.
The way you talk about this, like with the whole like eating and like edginess thing, it does sound like those Idea Factory games.
Where like they have an idea and they talk about it, but it's not really like all that important anyway. Like shares in Neptunia. Like, oh no, it's
God.
like these actually mean something. No, they don't.
Shares were so fucking stupid.
It's literally just a way for you to lock endings, you dumbasses. It's a way to you to make me grind. I'm onto your bullshit.
And then they don't really do anything with it outside of Rebirth 1.
Yeah, they really don't. Like they meant yeah. Like they try it with Meganep, like, and the shares literally do nothing in Meganep, even though like there's like a direct cause and effect. Like you die in battle, your shares actually go down. Like if a goddess dies in battle, your shares for that nation actually go down, but it literally affects nothing. Like, I don't remember it affecting anything, but I do know that, like, if Blonde died, Louise's shares went down. Whatever. But anyway, yeah, DDS2. Just not clicking for me for some reason. I don't know why. It's so weird. Man.
You need a good dungeon crawl. I'm racking my brain. Like, what would do the trick?
Like, what?
Just play Labyrinth of Toho.
Just play Labyrinth of Toho 2 again? Like, that's all. Mm-hmm. I think, like the only thing that I'm bummed out about that is, like, I literally lost a file for the Let's Play, so I can't. Like, that's why I'm bummed about that. Is that, like, I'm like. Yeah, like the files.
I was even thinking, like, oh, you've got that unfinished LP. You could pick that back up.
Yeah, that's why that's why I put the videos to private on my channels, because like the save file is for some reason inoperable or it's unopenable by the game for some
video
reason.
Games are bad, actually.
Yeah.
Save files are so precious.
You loved Etrian Odyssey 4, but then EO5 kind of lost.
But then EO5 wasn't that good. Like EO5 just kind of was boring. Yeah.
Okay, I've got it.
What you got?
Instead of a game that you don't like the sequel to, what about a game you didn't like the good sequel? Persona Q2.
There you go! Just buy that. It's like $19 now. Because nobody gave a fuck about that game.
Okay. Wow. Different strat. Load up RPG Maker, make a good
dungeon crawler, right?
That's your only option now.
I could do that. I think I could do that.
You could make a great RTP dungeon crawler. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah.
No fucking random battles.
No random battles. All the battles are scripted. Boom.
Yeah. I think it can, and no teleporter mazes or fucking door mazes.
No teleporter or door mazes. I can absolutely tell you what, man. I'll even put push and block puzzles in. I don't even like push and blocks. I might even program a fishing minigame. I might do it.
Mm-hmm.
There was some game a long time ago I was playing. I think it was a Saturn RPG. It might have been Shining Wisdom, but anyways, it had a teleporter maze towards the end. And I think I just never finished it. Because I was trying to map it out with paper and I just didn't fucking care.
Like I said, if you are resorting to teleporter mazes, you are a fucking hack and you have reached your literal creative bankruptcy. If that is how you make your video game.
I feel like John is getting stabbed.
John is sitting over
I didn't
there.
have a teleporter maze.
No, I don't count facets as a teleporter maze.
Yeah, I had the door maze.
It's a maze with teleporters, though.
It's like, see,
there's no teleporters in the whole game. There's just doors.
It's just doors.
Okay,
it's different. It's totally
you wouldn't
totally
know,
different.
You wouldn't know, of course.
You wouldn't know because you didn't play facets.
I played that first floor. The doors felt like teleporters. I guess the difference is you can go back and forth, right? Whereas the teleporter in EDS2...
I think the actual event in the RPG Maker editor is called a teleporter.
It is. No, I mean the doors aren't though. The doors are door events.
The doors are just door events, but they activate
the teleporter
event.
Well, because you're moving the player. But I think the difference is on those, if you go into one and you come out somewhere you don't like, you can just turn around. Whereas in DDS2, it just sends you back to the start and you're fucked.
Yeah.
You remember the teleport maze in Chrono Trigger? In Azula's castle?
It's like weird, incomprehensible, like, what the fuck? Why is this here?
It's like half finished where they don't have an animation or something. So
yeah,
it feels
you just like you run in and it feels like a bug. It feels like a bug.
It feels like a bug.
Like, I never figured out how to get the chests in that room either, because I was just like, I hate this. This is awful.
Yeah.
I just want out.
That dungeon is like the one part I think that game drags a little bit, and
Just a little
the
bit.
teleporter doesn't help.
Because they make you do that
right after
Yeah, it happens
Magus's
right after
castle,
Magus's
too.
castle, so it's just kind of like...
I still like it, especially because the climax of it is so good.
Oh, the climax is great, but stuff like the
How long
teleporter.
dungeon?
makes
Yeah,
it
like the teleporter maze just doesn't make sense. Like, it's not hard. Like, it's very easy to fucking just fudge your way through it. But it's just like, why is this happening? What is... Nothing signifies that this is going to happen. That this is going to be a thing.
In the prehistoric age.
Yeah, but why is this a thing? Like, of all the places.
Yeah. It's not in the 10,000 BC one.
It's not in the 10,000 BC
the magic
one,
capital.
where they have teleporters fuck everywhere.
They actually based it on dinosaur design.
Oh my god. But, yeah, but yeah. I don't know if I'm going back to DDS, dude. It's just like, if it lost me that early and it's just this kind of... I might just like watch a Let's Play or something at the end and see how they wrap it up, but... Because it's just like, I don't want to fucking touch that.
And then it turns out it gets really good immediately, and then you're like,
oh, that
shit.
fucking make me real mad. Like, yeah, like all of a sudden, like, oh man, you're like the best dungeons, right? It's next. The best dungeons next. All the the best puzzle boss fights are next.
If you heard that, then you could just actually go back to it, though.
But no one here can tell you that.
No one here can tell. Like, I think Beepner is the only person that's played that game, and he probably doesn't even remember. Because his knowledge of that game seems like a little spotty. I think Jetstorm played it too, but yeah. Hey, are the dungeons shitty after the teleporter maze, or does the game get good again? Thank you for farting. Dances with a Woosh.
You just got to fart as a response.
I just got to fart as a response.
I played Sword in like a long time ago. All right. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. That's fine.
Okay, I'm probably going to do Nocturne for my next Mega 10 then. I was kind of eyeballing DDS because it was short.
I know Nocturne's got some nightmarish dungeon design too, but
yeah, but that game is a nightmare.
That game is just a nightmare box.
It's a hell box.
It's a hell box.
You jump into and then you're just tortured. It's like
I mean, the box is red and glowing. It's like
a Hellraiser artifact.
Yeah, it's a Hellraiser artifact. You know what you're getting into the moment you open that box and put that disc in. You're just like, okay, let's just do it. Rip the bandage off. Let's go.
Which is just how I like to feel going to games.
Good video games, man. Good video games. We'll find them. We'll find them eventually, I swear.
Anything else?
Well, guess what? I'm gonna do a quick. I'm gonna pull a quick curveball on you. You know how I do? Yeah. I usually do them at the first of a segment. The part where I talk about things nobody cares about.
It's the music corner.
Oh shit! We got a quick music corner here. I'm not gonna bother you too much, but Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats just released an amazing 18-minute EP called Unlocked. It's just 18 minutes of bangers, and it's 18 minutes of fantastic production from Kenny Beats and fantastic, amazing performances from Denzel Curry, just going the fuck off. Apparently they created this in a span of 24 hours, and it's apparently just this 24-hour kind of like, we locked ourselves in a room, this is what came out, and then you kind of you do a little bit of a touching up and punching it up, of the week or two afterward. But Denzel Curry only keeps getting better and better with every project he puts out, and this is no exception. It's just like, it's like your favorite rapper Denzel Curry here in 2020, keeping the fans fed once again. It's just he doing what he do, and he do it at a level that I don't think anybody else is doing right now, because nobody in the rap game, I feel, is as exciting as Denzel Curry is. Just straight up. Like, I don't think... Yeah, and Kenny Beats has worked with other people you've heard me talk about, like JPEG Mafia, so you kind of know what you're getting into beat-wise, with just very weird, off-the-wall shit. But for like a 24-hour project, this is a very cohesive 18 minutes. It's got a very it's got a theme that kind of runs through it, that runs through the way that it sounds and kind of the way everything's put together. And it's just, yeah, like I said, 18 minutes of a dude going on, of two very talented people bouncing energy off of one another. And it's just like, it's barely contained in this one little span of time. And I usually hate EPs as the thing. So, So for me to actually like Denzel Curry has released other EPs, and so like, whatever. Didn't buy him, didn't listen to him, because I don't think that is a good enough amount of time to really bite into to a work. But I think that with Unlocked, you get in 18 minutes what you would typically get in like a 32-minute album or something. It's just so dense, and it's over so fast, but it's believe me, it's amazing. It's great. Cool. Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats, Unlocked. And with that, how about we take a 5-minute break?
Cool.
Yes.
All right. We will be back in about 5 minutes. Hello.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, we're almost there.
Are we?
We'll see. I'm next.
Oh shit. All right. Let me. Oh,
Y'all
shit.
literally have no idea. It's so fun.
Yeah, I don't have even half of a clue of what this could be.
I ain't said shit on Twitter.
Yeah, like that's all I know is that it's it.
It's it.
It's it. Oh, you listened to the new Denzel Curry album. That's
Yeah,
what it
that
was.
was
That's what
definitely
it was. What was your favorite track? Was probably track 07.
Hey, if you send it to me, I will listen to it. It's only 18 minutes long.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Also, you never posted Russian Circles.
Oh, derp. Yeah, I need to do that.
You kept saying the other ones are better, and I'm like,
right,
cool.
right. Yeah, I know what one I want to send you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll get that taken care of either tonight or tomorrow. So during the break,
Oh no.
we were listening to music from Batman the video game for Sega Genesis. Right?
Uh-huh.
So there's a reason I chose that game, because it was on my mind today. Because I was digging through my Genesis games earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that I have a copy of Batman the video game for Sega Genesis, as you should. It's a good video game. It's an underrated platformer for the Sega Genesis platform. What I'd never noticed, and I don't know how this escaped my vision in the past, and I don't know how it's not been mentioned like other places online. I looked at the back of my box, and there are 2 screenshots for this video game that I'm holding in my hand. They're not screenshots for the Sega Genesis version of Batman the video game.
Oh no.
They're for the NES version.
I already found a scan. Holy shit.
These 2 games look nothing alike. There is
That's
no way you could
amazing.
confuse them. There is no way you could conceivably confuse these 2 video games. And I don't know how this is a thing that I only just noticed. So there's your weird bit of fucking trivia that I somehow did not notice, having owned this game for quite a while. Like,
That's
when did I
hilarious.
buy Batman? Like, when did I get a box copy? I got a box copy of that game probably around 2006 or so.
Okay.
So
I was like, oh, it's 1991 on the box.
yeah, it's 1991. Right. But I didn't get a copy until 2006. But how did I never notice or even mention
Oh wow, that's wild.
that the Genesis cover actually uses NES screenshots? That's fucking wild to me.
The NES game looks that good. They were like, well, that's not the NES version, obviously.
Right? The NES
How did
version.
they just had those laying around? It was like, I think that
I
looks like
think
Genesis.
it's the exact same images they used on the NES version too. I think it's the exact same.
Making me
screenshot.
do more Google. NES Batman box.
Like, I am pretty damn sure those are the same 2 fucking images on the back of the NES box art. Oh wow, fucking Streamlabs actually tells you when it's a gifted sub now. Okay, neat. Sorry, that was a weird tangent.
I think you're right on the NES box. I can't find a good. Oh, there's one. Yep, it's the same too.
Wow, that's great. That's cool. Like, because like
That's extremely funny.
You have to imagine the people that were doing box arts and cover and like the cover text back then probably didn't know a lot about what they were doing anyway. I don't think. Like, I have to imagine they just got people in the office like, "Yo, write about Batman."
That's wild.
That's crazy. Like, yeah, but
I think
yeah,
they
like,
look.
I don't know how I didn't notice this back when I originally got a box copy. Yeah, those are the same fucking screenshots.
That's wild.
I wonder, is it the same fucking copy text too?
We're just sitting here reading this now.
I'm just looking. This is. Okay, I don't think it's the same copy
looks
text
different,
though.
yeah.
It's not the same copy text at least. That would have been good.
This is no kid stuff.
No kid stuff.
This is as real as video gaming gets.
It really is when you think about it.
If you liked what you saw in the movie, you're gonna love what you see here because this time around, Batman is all business.
Wasn't it like a meme for a little bit that Batman for the NES is nothing like the movie? That's bad.
He's blue. Why is Batman blue? Because the backgrounds are primarily black. They make excellent use of that. Good Lord. Yeah, like the art design of Batman in the NES is incredible.
It's a gorgeous game.
Like, it is an amazing looking game. Like, I don't think that there's a game that handles that dark palette as well as that game. There's no other game on an NES that handles that. It's really cool.
Sunsoft do good.
They did good, and then the 16-bit era happened, and whoops. Later. So, Rhett.
Hi.
We're gonna circle right on back to you, picking up where we left off. How you doing? You got more podcast in you?
I got a lot more podcast in me. I hope you all are ready.
Hey, I hope you're ready. I still got a lot of podcasts in me as well.
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh.
I don't have very much podcast in me, so that's. I mean, like, I have plenty of podcast in me, but I don't have too much like John podcast left.
There's no more John juice left. You're saying we're out of John juice.
I don't have too many more specific things, so it'll even out probably if you both have a lot of stuff.
I was like, why is he doing shmups and Queen's Wish? That's 2 bits.
I know it was kind of silly, but I'll be all. So that means I'll be done pretty quick.
That means like the good part of the podcast is coming. Not a lot of John in that back half.
Anyways, I keep forgetting to mention that Life Force NES was the first shmup I ever played, so it does kind of have a special place in my heart.
That and Stinger, right?
Yeah, Stinger and Life Force are the two that I heard you talk most about.
Yeah, but specifically Life Force was the first. I had literally never played anything like it before. Mm-hmm. I was very bad at it because I didn't understand what was going on.
God, I think, I think Defender was probably my first shmup.
Yeah. Like, you know how there's like kind of a blue section in the first level?
Mm-hmm.
That's like 30 seconds in?
Yeah.
I got to that and was like, oh, this is level 2 now.
Oh!
I was that bad at that game.
My first shmup was Raiden 2.
Wow, that's a...
It was the first one. It was at the arcade pizza. I was at the pizza place I went to. Neat. And then my first home shmup was Blazon.
Oh no.
God.
Oof. I wish it could blaze off. Jesus.
Anyways.
Continue, Rhett.
So I played Katana Zero and Ape Out, and I was looking for something basically completely different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I still watch Giant Bomb videos,
mm-hmm.
and I watched a random one from a few years ago where they're playing XCOM, and I got that itch. I was like, I could go for some XCOM right now.
Yo, man. XCOM Enemy Unknown is real good.
It's really good. And XCOM 2, one of my favorite games like ever, because that like was real high on one of my Game of the Year lists.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
I just straight up did like multiple playthroughs of that game in a row.
Which surprises me because XCOM 2 is the one like people really just don't like that much.
I think people have turned around on it probably because there's such a big mod scene, and there's some huge expansion for it that I haven't played that like also really changes things.
Well, the Long War expansions seem a little overdone to me.
Oh no, not the Long War. Like there's an official one with it or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I watched an old Giant Bomb video where they're playing XCOM, the first one, or Enemy Unknown. Not really the first one, the modern one, the Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I listened to the 2020 Giant Bomb podcast, and Vinny's on there talking about XCOM 2.
What?
Which he is actively playing right now.
Oh,
apparently it's like he's been playing it for like a month, and they're making fun of him because that's literally all he keeps bringing up on the podcast. Because January's been so goddamn slow.
Oh yeah, January's
he's
dry
just still
fuck.
playing. He's just still playing XCOM 2.
I mean I can see playing a good video game for a month.
It's just wild though, where like those guys usually bounce off games really quickly.
Yeah,
so it's just like week after week he's bringing up XCOM 2.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he has a press account for things like Steam, just like everybody else in that office likely does. So he could be playing literally anything.
But I don't think anything really came out this month. But anyways, I got the XCOM bug, and I almost reinstalled XCOM 2.
Oh, wow.
And then I realized, oh wait, I've got a game I bought like 2 years ago that's very similar to XCOM. Funny enough.
Huh.
So I was just in the perfect mood to play, drumroll, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Wow! Wow! This one's finally coming up.
I got this like pretty close after I got my Switch and just never played it. Like there was an excitement to play it and then it just went away. And then I found it. I found the right moment where I was like, yes, I need some XCOM right now. Please give me something similar. This is a game where the developers of this game were not at all like coy in saying that like, yeah, we played a bunch of XCOM when making this.
Oh, no, they are very fucking open with the fact that XCOM was a huge influence on this game.
Yeah, it's very obviously a huge influence. Like, it's not the exact same, but it is so incredibly similar, just the movement. And so Mario and Luigi just straight up have Overwatch as an ability. And it just makes me laugh every single time it triggers.
It makes me like imagine there's XCOM 2 mods, but they've just got Mario and Luigi heads.
This game honestly at times feels like I'm playing one of those weird Steam mods because
that's really awesome.
So anyway, so John asked what is Overwatch? Overwatch is a move where if the enemy makes a movement and one of your characters can see them on their attack turn, it'll go into super slow-mo. Your character will jump out of cover and shoot them while they're moving.
Fucking Mario.
Fucking Luigi jumping out of cover in slow-mo dumping on fuckers.
And it's even wilder because in this, like, you can upgrade your... It's not literally called Overwatch, it's just the exact same. But you can upgrade it so that they'll get multiple shots during it.
Oh, wow.
So Luigi... Also, Luigi has a sniper rifle, because why not?
Fantastic!
And he can fire 3 times during his Overwatch.
Oh my god!
So there are times where the enemy will move and he'll just pop out and just be like, boom, 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 enemy dead.
Just fucking super fucking Luigi executing these critters.
All the enemies are Rabbids, so it's like he's just shooting them. It's so weird.
That is what you want to do to the rabbits, as I understand it, right? Just kind of end them.
I've never experienced Rabbids before this.
Yeah.
I never want to experience Rabbids again after this. A game where that is primarily shooting them is just fine.
Yeah.
It's so weird how they just feel like off-brand minions, even though they came first.
Yeah, that's real weird, because I know that I was hearing about Rabbids way before Minion.
Yeah, there's some like old throwback Rayman thing, and then started getting spin-offs on like the Wii, like way before Minions
like launch
were a
titles.
thing. Yeah. But somehow Minions are like the exact fucking same thing. Like the mannerisms just seem exactly the same. It's bizarre.
Red, tell us the thing you had to DM me about with this game. Which was your party layout.
Yeah. So when you start the game, you have your 3 characters are Mario. Oh yeah. So here's the entire character lineup. It's like the most boring they possibly could have gone with the IPs they're mashing together. Your 8 playable characters are Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Rabbid Mario, Rabbid Luigi, Rabbid Peach, Rabbid Yoshi. It is 4 Mario characters, and then 4 Mario characters being cosplayed by Rabbids.
It's fucking nuts!
It's real boring. So when you start the game, you only have Mario, Rabbid Peach, and Rabbid Luigi.
Right.
And you only ever have 3 characters in your party. Mm-hmm. So pretty early on, you get Luigi. So I'm like, okay, buy Peach. So now I've got Mario Luigi and Rabbid Luigi, who's actually really good. But I'm like, okay, so when am I going to get Peach?
I was loading up footage. Continue.
So I'm like excited to get Peach so I can have a all Mario party, because I wasn't really loving Rabbid Luigi at that point. So you go to the end of stage 2, or the second world. and there's a cutscene. Luigi gets like frozen in a block of ice, and Peach joins your party for this battle against the boss.
Right.
And then you beat the boss, and it kicks you back to the kind of hub world, and you go back to your original party. I go to the character select area. So the other thing is that you have to have Mario in your party, so you really only have 2 slots to pick from.
Yeah.
Because Mario's always the leader. So I pick Luigi, and Peach becomes grayed out.
What?
I go, uh-oh. I back out. I pick Peach, and Luigi becomes grayed out.
What?
This game
no!
literally... They never acknowledge it. They never say anything. This game literally forces you to have a rabbit in your party.
Oh, no.
So, like, they knew that's the thing everybody
Like,
was
nobody
gonna do.
would want a rabbit in their party, like, willingly.
Unless they're, like, min-maxing or whatever.
Right.
But on a casual playthrough, you just want the cool characters.
Yeah, and rabbits
And, like,
are
not
far
even
from that.
And not even that Peach or Luigi are cool characters, it's just in comparison to the fucking rabbits.
Yeah, like, we're here for the Nintendo stuff. I'm sorry, Ubisoft guy that is very excited about this game, and I've seen the guy cry when he's talked about how much a dream it was for him to make this game. I know you probably love your rabbits very much, but that is not why we're here.
So you have to use a rabbit in your party no matter what. So
my god!
I never used Peach. I just stopped. I was just like, fuck it. I was like, oh, but Luigi's got a sniper rifle and he can fire 3 times on Overwatch. He's awesome.
Yeah, like Luigi with a sniper rifle is not what I expected to coming into this podcast today. But I'm very happy that we are here today, and we have this image.
It's like the Death Glare Luigi from the Mario Party game, just looking over and then pulls out the sniper rifle.
Death Glare Luigi plus sniper rifle.
So the thing about this game is that, like, the visuals and the theming of Mario and the Rabbids doesn't really fit the gameplay whatsoever. I feel like pretty much all the characters, like, with the Rabbids, they could do with that whatever. But, like, so you get Yoshi really late in the game. And I joked about this on Twitter, like, they do nothing to make him play like you'd expect a Yoshi to play like. He just has a Gatling gun and a bazooka, like...
Like, why wouldn't he, like, eat enemies and fire them, or eat surrounding objects and then shoot them? Like, you'd think
because that was probably too much work to make or something.
Yeah, you could make a mechanic out of that, though.
Yeah, there's a ton of things. He does have kind of a butt pound. That's the closest. But it's like, he doesn't eat enemies, he doesn't use his tongue, he doesn't throw eggs, he doesn't flutter jump, he doesn't do anything a Yoshi would do. He shoots them. Just like Mario.
Gun! He shoots gun!
Like Mario has, like, a laser pistol. He shoots the enemies. He doesn't throw fireballs.
Motherfuckers could have at least got Diddy Kong in this game. He's got a gun now.
Oh, so here's the wild thing. There is a small expansion.
Bitch.
That has not... It has Donkey Kong, not Diddy Kong, so you probably have fucking Donkey Kong with the gun. But I haven't played that yet.
This game's great. This game sounds fantastic.
It's a really good game. It's a really good strategy game, and there are some sliding block puzzles. Because, like, there's light puzzle stuff between the battles, because that's pretty much the entire game. So they couldn't just have you just nonstop battling. So as you progress through the worlds, there's kind of light puzzle elements, and there are some sliding block puzzles. Right. Which makes sense. I think the fact that it's puzzles fits in this because, like, you're thinking strategically about the battles. So when then thinking strategically, oh, where do I want to push this thing? Like, it doesn't feel like your brain is having to change gear too much.
Right.
But yeah, the fact that it is I feel so poorly Nintendo themed was kind of a bummer.
Yeah, like...
Where it's just, like, Mario has a gun.
Like,
he doesn't shoot fireballs.
Yeah, like, you have fireballs! There are so many things. There are so many projectiles that exist in the Mario world now. It's absolutely ludicrous that they could not have worked that. It's weird. It's ridiculous. They could not have massaged those systems to not just be, I have gun.
The other thing is that every character has a sub-weapon, and I think Mario's kind of fits him. It's a giant hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess that could kind of be seen as like a Donkey Kong 1 reference, but even then I'm kind of stretching it, you know?
Mhm.
And then Luigi's is just like a tank that rolls towards enemies and blows up when it gets close. Oh, like Peach's second weapon, I only used her in that one boss fight. It's just like a rubber duck that's actually a grenade. Like,
Like a worm's attack.
yeah, it's like, what does this have to do with any of these Mario characters? And like I mentioned, Yoshi's is literally just a bazooka.
Wow.
Hey, Rhett, why does this have one of the coolest looking like final boss Bowsers of like any modern Nintendo game? Any
I know,
modern
and
Mario
the
game?
final boss is like incredibly stunningly gorgeous looking. Like that whole lead up to him is insane.
Uh-huh.
Like
I didn't actually. I saw the video you sent me, but I didn't see
Yeah.
the actual final Bowser, and I was like, oh shit, y'all kind of went for it.
They really go for it, huh?
He has shmup boss wings
Oh, that's really good.
and like
Because-
glowing red eyes because he's being possessed, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like Cyber Dragon Bowser is what they call him or something.
Look, everything else about this game is already cheesy. Just go all in with it at that point. Yeah.
Just
Oh, that's funny.
I think that one of my main disappointments though is how like the Mario stuff just feels like a coat of paint instead of
Yeah, it's not really
being integral to it.
utilized in the way that you would hope a Nintendo property would be.
Because then like there's a few Mario enemies that show up, but for the most part they don't show up as enemies. They're more like stage hazards.
Oh.
So like there's chain chomps that you have to run away from and stuff, and again you don't fight them. I think Nintendo was like, you are not shooting our characters with your damn little guns.
God.
I honestly
really
think
wonder
that,
what the red tape on that fucking on
Yeah.
using that property looked like.
I think that has to be part of it. So like boos show up, but again they just grab you and teleport you. They don't actually fight. There's one enemy that is like a rabbit mixed with a piranha plant, and you do fight them, but they shoot fire, so it doesn't ever feel like the essence of a piranha plant. And like, I think that's basically it for the Mario enemies. You do fight Bowser Jr. as well, and you shoot him, I guess. It's weird. So like, you can shoot him.
You can shoot Bowser Jr. Nobody gives a fuck about Bowser Jr.
Yeah. But yeah, the other thing is that like there's 4 worlds, like, and they're real kind of basic theming of like the grassland plains level, the
desert level, the water level, the giant level. No, they probably don't have anything that cool.
The third one is Ghost Town, and then the fourth one is like, lava industrial Bowser area.
Yeah.
But I guess because Mario doesn't really have consistent settings.
Not anymore, no.
Not really, like. So
there's Mario setting. There's Mushroom Kingdom as of now.
But
like, whatever the
that?
fuck that means now.
Yeah, like none of these look like the other games, so they all just kind of come off as like feeling a bit like generic knockoff desert level.
Oh, weird.
Like even the castle, like the dungeon or the fourth world, which is like the lava industrial factory one, it doesn't feel like a Bowser castle, even though that's supposedly where it is. Just it's just kind of feels a bit generic in that regard. But like the gameplay is really fun, and as people have mentioned, considering the two things they're combining are Mario and the Rabbids, which are both kind of children's properties, especially the Rabbids, this game's really hard.
Yeah, that's something that I remember hearing a lot about when this game came out, is that it's like, this game's not afraid to beat your ass.
This game will beat your ass. Like, even by the end of the first world, I was like feeling a bit of like the tension of like, oh, because sometimes they'll have multiple fights in a row and you don't heal the full between them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So sometimes you'll find like a mushroom during the overworld part and it'll heal everybody a bit. A bit. But like if a character gets knocked out in a fight, they'll wake up with like 1 HP for the next one, which is like, oh boy.
Oh, dear.
Like, yeah, Luigi, you're going to get like a couple shots off and then you're just fucking toast.
Permadeath Luigi. Imagine. Imagine!
There's no permadeath. That would get me to use other characters at least.
Yeah. Use those fucking useless rabbits. We need bodies. Get them out there.
The funny thing is that Rabbid Luigi, and again, the Rabbid powers like are just kind of completely random. It seems where like Peach and Luigi just have different variations of barrier.
Mhm.
And then Rabbid Luigi, for whatever reason, has this move where he can slide kick into enemies and apply vampire to them.
What?
So it's an HP steal kick,
Uh-huh.
which makes no sense.
Okay.
That
But-
classic Luigi maneuver.
Yeah, that classic
Yeah.
Luigi vampire slide always gets him.
Yeah. Oh, this is Rabbid Luigi, so all the rules are off.
Okay.
No, it's like a dark parody of
Yeah.
his other of his
I
of
guess.
his life-giving slide kick where he slides into people and they get health.
Yeah.
That was you might not have known that. That was in one of the Mario and
Okay.
Luigi games. He could
Mhm.
slide into Mario and give him health.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Everybody knows about that, Rhett. Come on.
But anyways, I upgraded that thing to max, and it's doing like a lot of fucking damage.
Mm-hmm.
So like his main attack is just running into enemies and kicking them, and then healing to full like immediately because
Because it's vampirism.
because he was like doing more damage than he had HP, and it was
Yeah.
healing for 100%.
Oh my
So it's just
God.
like he kicks an enemy and just shoots up to full health immediately, and then for the rest of that turn, that enemy will still be affected by vampire. So then if Luigi shoots him, he'll also get that health back.
That's fucking stupid.
So somehow this dude ends up as my healer by kicking enemies.
It's so fucking stupid.
So yeah, so back to the XCOM part, they have kind of simplified it a bit where like full cover is like literally full cover. It's 0% chance to be hit.
Mhm.
And then half cover is literally 50% chance to be hit.
Jeez.
So there's only ever 0, 50, or 100.
Damn.
Yeah. So cover really matters.
Yeah.
But then the game also wants you to play really aggressively because, so you know how in XCOM you can move or you can like move twice and that's a dash and then
Yeah.
you can't do anything afterwards? Basically in this, if you move into another character, they'll throw you up in the air and that's your second move. But then you can still shoot afterwards.
Oh, weird.
So you can like throw characters basically behind enemy lines and have them shoot with a 100% chance to hit. And then as well, during your first move, that's when every character, if you just are close enough, you can run into an enemy, slide kick them, and then run back into cover.
Mm.
I guess one Mario thing that they do use pretty well is pipes. So there's a lot of the levels will just have pipes everywhere. So then you can use that to kind of flank around super quickly as well.
Yeah, like that would definitely be like a fun
Yeah.
thing to integrate into
Yeah.
tactics.
So that's always fun when it happens. It's also very much less fun when the enemies start using them
Oh,
effectively
no!
and get right behind you.
Oh
Yep. So the weird thing about the slide kick, though, is like you're not counting how many spaces you move. It's just, are all these things within your range of movement?
no!
So it's like you can run up 5 spaces, kick an enemy, and then run back to where you started, and then run back 5 spaces as long as it's still within that initial
within
blue.
that initial. Oh wow!
Yeah. And then sometimes pipes will be close enough that you can start chaining them together.
Oh, that's fucked up.
So I'll have these moves where I'm like, run into a pipe, run out of the pipe and slide kick an enemy, run back into another pipe, run out of that pipe and slide kick an enemy. I'm like moving like 20 spaces or something on one turn. Because one of the there's skill trees, and one of the skills is of course like upgrade how many spaces you can move after leaving a pipe.
Oh,
And that one can be pretty useful if there's 2 pipes close
Yeah.
enough together. Because then you're just getting multiple pipes per turn.
Jesus.
But then trying to figure out where an enemy could possibly be on the next turn is kind of a nightmare.
Mm.
Because there's one XCOM enemy type that they just straight up copy, which is like the Berserkers.
Oh.
There are enemies that when you shoot them, they just run towards you.
Yeah.
And if you shoot them and hit them with Overwatch, they'll still keep moving.
Yep.
Those things are scary.
Very.
They're just giant rabbits with like a huge cinder block, basically. This is such a weird game, but it's really good.
Yeah, definitely. Like, even though it doesn't sound like, it's unfortunate that they didn't utilize
Yeah.
the Nintendo property in a way that would have made it more uniquely Nintendo. This still sounds
Yeah.
like a very fun game.
It's a very good game if you have that XCOM itch, because it is so similar enough
Mm-hmm.
to where Like it gives you some new twists and turns with like the pipes and the whole like jumping and slide kicking enemies.
Yeah.
But it plays similar enough that you can play pretty defensively and just play it like XCOM.
That's rad. That is cool as hell.
So I finished this game up about a week ago. I really enjoyed it. And I was still not satisfied.
Oh shit, still got the itch.
I still had that itch for some strategy game.
Is this the it?
So I started playing Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh shit! This is the it, isn't it?
This is it.
This is it. Uh-oh. Okay.
So we'll save that for later. John, what have you been up to?
Okay. So I watched all of Thunderbolt Fantasy. I finished that.
Oh, nice.
It was the much better of the Urabuchi things I dove into in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, there was a couple things that sounded a little bit, quote-unquote, problematic.
Yeah, the other one was a bit problematic.
Little bit.
I talked to Red about it, and he shut me down. Like, no, I don't want to talk about this.
I read it and then just posted okay from One Punch Man.
Oh, wow.
It was rough, so I had to find other people that could be like, "This, listen to this stupid thing."
I appreciate that character is in a fucking fighting game for some reason.
I don't want to talk about that again. I'm done talking about.
Okay.
Ends that gross on the podcast.
Okay.
Thunderbolt Fantasy is not gross. That is his nice puppet show.
I had no idea he was involved with this. Oh my god.
This is his baby. He loves this.
Okay, now I need to watch this.
This is like the thing that he's been most passionate about working on for like ages, and it's
That's
just
hilarious.
his nice puppet fantasy show.
That's insane.
It's so good.
That just blows my fucking mind.
Yup. So it's completely simple premise. It starts off and a big demon lord is chasing down this shrine guy and his sister, and they're carrying the legendary sword sheath that'll let the guy claim the big legendary sword, and he kills the brother, and the sister escapes by hopping off a cliff and swimming away. After like this big fantasy magic battle, all with puppets.
Oh my god.
And then she finds like this wandering swordsman and beseeches his help. And they get a team together to go and take back the sheath, basically, from this evil guy. And they have to get to his big tower, and they have to go through all these trials to get there. And they do all these magic battles, and it's all puppets.
Oh.
It's dead serious. Urabuchi like dialogue where they're sitting around in a thing and talking about their personal philosophies of why do I wield the sword because
fucking
oh my
god. Are you for real?
That's literally a Fate Zero episode.
And they're puppets.
Oh my god.
And it's not just that. About halfway through the show, it like takes a turn where it like goes in a direction I completely wasn't expecting, and then the whole back half is just like not at all where I was expecting the show to go, but in a good way.
Cool.
So it like surprised me in some very cool ways where things resolve, and it resolves very satisfyingly. There is a second season, but the first season, very good, solid ending.
So you haven't watched season 2 yet? Okay.
Because again, it was just a very pleasing, solid conclusion where I came away from it feeling completely satisfied. So that's the kind of thing where I want to sit on it for a bit, especially when I'm worried like, oh, second season might not live up to this or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, and just very insulated from his bullshit.
Yeah. That's the main thing. That's the main thing here.
Maybe just because there are very few women in the show.
Oh, well, that probably explains a lot.
Can't kill them off if you don't have them.
There you go.
So that probably helped his worst habits.
Yeah.
But this was just a complete delight. I really like Thunderbolt Fantasy. It's on Crunchyroll.
Oh, it is. I didn't know that.
Yes, it's not on my anime list. It is on Crunchyroll.
I saw a thing. So, Reset Era is doing Anime of the Decade stuff. They specifically said like no foreign shows except Thunderbolt Fantasy is fine.
There's a good chunk of CG. The CG is very present in the first like 2 minutes, and then it chills out a lot. So like the first couple minutes was kind of hard to parse, but then after that, it becomes a lot easier to watch, and also more overtly puppets.
Cool.
I think if I had one criticism with the complaint, it's that the final end baddie is a big CG thing, and I would have really liked it to be a effect.
Yeah,
but it's a very small part of the show there. Most of the big action scenes is all puppets bouncing around.
That's
firing at each other.
Really good.
Hitting a lot of sword fighting with puppets.
Is it just them kind of flailing around, or is it trying to be technical at all?
It's super technical and
good.
Dramatic.
That's what I want.
It's super like dramatic and well done and exciting. There's lots of good camera work.
Okay, this is exactly what I want.
They're actually like doing really good puppetry here.
Okay,
yes. It's kabuki puppets.
That's really cool shit.
Where it's like the faces. It's different from like the Jim Henson.
The Jim Henson stuff.
Jim Henson stuff, where it's the solid like ceramic dolls, but then they have the eyes and the mouths can move a little bit, and then they have these beautiful ornate outfits.
Yeah.
And so most of the part they're just kind of wobbling a bit during all the dialogue, and all of the characters have their own dedicated puppeteers that are credited. So they all bring their own personality to how they move the characters, in addition to the VA work.
That's really fucking neat.
It's just a complete delight. Everything about it. It's so nice that it exists.
That's cool as fuck.
Yep. Thunderbolt Fantasy. Only 13 episodes. You can just get in, get out.
Get in, get out.
Have a good time.
Oh, but there are 13 more if you want.
And there are 13 more. I have one friend who's also who says like second season gets a little more boochy. So I'm like, oh no.
Oh boy.
So I don't know what that means yet, but we'll find out. But
I think we have a general idea of what it means.
Yeah, like when you say Urabuchi, I kind of I got a generally good idea of what you mean.
By the end of season 2, there are no female characters.
There are no females, but 4 were introduced in the season.
I counted 3 lady characters. Never mind. I won't say how many make it through. So Thunderbolt Fantasy ruled, and there's one other thing. Oh yeah, I literally got to the save point before the final boss of Ys Origin today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I feel like I've got enough. I'm pretty sure it's gonna land because Falcom games always like basically land well. Mm-hmm. I really like Ys Origin.
It's not the East game that I go to. I don't like. I did replay Unica's campaign last year, and I had a good time with it. But the reason I'm not playing more is just because hey, I don't like that dungeon, and that's all you got. That one dungeon.
Because it. Just like from a play perspective, or just kind of in a general setting
just
sense?
The general setting, I felt nothing moving point to point in a tower, and I didn't think the story that they were telling was super great.
See, that's my thing, is that the way they're writing this one, there's something about the voice and perspective that feels
I don't think it's bad.
Or it feels a little more mature, I guess. It feels more post-Trails. Especially
I see that. I see that. I see that.
Because Oath and Felghana is very video game in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah. It's like they stuck to that Wanderer's feel from that game's original release. They kept that general tone.
Yeah.
Even though they fleshed it out.
Mm-hmm. So coming off of Oath, especially, like if I was coming off of Arc, that one felt a little bit closer to kind of what Trails was doing. I think it's a very sort of fleshed out setting.
Yeah.
Some nice writing going on. But coming off of Oath, like this, just all the stuff they're doing with Unica, all the little stuff with Roy, meeting the goddesses, the little flashbacks of the CGs. it all just feels a little bit more a little bit more mature, a little bit more nice. Because with Ark and Oath, it's doing the same thing that they were doing for a long time. You're Adol, you're great, everybody loves you, all the ladies love you,
Yeah.
and want to smooch you. You're gonna run around beating up enemies and getting stronger, just like you have a bunch of times. And it's very much kind of sort of massaging the player, a lot of parts of the player's brain in pleasing ways. Just,
like that's what East do, typically.
Yeah. And then this one, they put a lot. Unica's not a silent protag.
Thank God.
Put a lot. Yeah, they put a lot of work into having her journey feel like an actual personal journey, in comparison with Adol, because Adol's done this. He's done this before.
Yeah,
he knows what's up.
This would not be an issue for Adol, whereas Unica's just starting out, very unsure of herself, and by the end of her storyline, she's reached a really good place.
Yeah, and they hammer on that a lot.
Yeah,
they tell it's like kids movie-esque how they are just here's the theme, here's what's happening.
They're very much hammering it into your brain.
Mm-hmm. But it's still I think the scene with Roy near the end helped it solidify it to me a bit, because it added stakes, and it was a point where her not having magic mattered.
It actually
they kept pointing that out throughout the story, but it never really felt like a weakness until then.
That
it was like
exact moment where it was needed.
Oh.
Yeah, they actually made that work. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And I just really like big old Falcom dungeons.
And that's basically all Ys Origin is.
Exactly. I love Trails Third. I love Donna's dungeon in Ys 8, and then this is just that.
Yeah, there's a whole game of that.
Mm-hmm. And it feels like it has as much story and whatnot as.
Oh, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. I think it has more story than any of those at the moment, from that era. I think it's just the overall rhythm of the dungeon. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like Darb Tower, and I'm not gonna like a full game of it.
There are times where I'd finish a boss, and then you just walk into the next room, and then it'd start playing the music for the next area, and I'd just be like, well, we're just doing the next one now.
We're just going. We're just going to keep going.
But just however my brain chemistry is hooked up, there's nothing about that pushed me away. It was just yep, this is all I want.
That's fine.
Just feed this to me. Yes, please.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's just always about having different places to go and a world to explore. And the one dungeon is just less of that. It does a lot of the same things, and it does them within the context of it still being in one place, because you still find the same amount of stuff. It's just that you're doing it in one centralized area and not over a countryside.
Mm-hmm. And I think for me, I think Ark is my favorite of these games, just because of it has a really nice story and it has that really nice setting.
Mm-hmm.
I think compared with Oath, because Ys Origin is just, here is the giant video game ass tower to climb.
Yeah.
Just get to the top of this tower. But for some reason, the way that they put the work in to contextualize that video game ass tower with the writing, it feels more grounded to me and kind of closer to what Ark was doing than Oath does. Because Oath feels much closer to that Ys 2 Wanderers.
Yeah.
Here are some video game levels. Just go through these.
I completely agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's where I love all of these games.
Yeah, all of these games are still good. I don't prefer Origin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Origin is bad. It's just not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm. So that's just where I'm getting down. Is there's this very specific, because these games are very similar.
Yeah. There's the minutia there that you have to take into consideration that makes this more of the John thing.
Mm-hmm. It's these are the specific things that I resonated with here, and it's the writing and the way the characters work. So I think that for me, it probably goes Ark, Origin, Oath. Even though I loved Oath of Death.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all three fine games. They're all three fine games. Play them all. Absolutely.
I'm kind of mourning because this is it. There's no more.
There's no more
There's
of
no
that
more
era.
of these.
Well, there's a lot more of this game though. There's other playthroughs.
That's true. There are 2 more playthroughs, which is great. I'm excited to get to those at some point. I kind of want to revisit more East before that, though.
I think there were some other games released in that era that are very similar. I think like Guruman might be similar some way.
I was just going down my Steam, like eyeballing. Oh, I've got Guruman on here. Oh, that might be nice.
Yeah, I think that's from that similar era, and I think that it's definitely got a similar kind of feel to it. There's definitely some other things from that era of Falcom that you can probably look at and find.
Because Aughts era Falcom is sort of my favorite thing in the world.
I can understand why.
Because I love Ys 8. I know I'm going to love Trails of Cold Steel. Those are different kinds of games.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the transition where you go to E7 and the tradition of going to Cold Steel, that is moving into being they're much bigger and very different sorts of experiences.
Yeah.
So I'm just really relishing this bullet of Ys dungeon. This concentrated dose. This is going right into the vein.
Yeah, this is the most concentrated of Ys dungeon dose that you can get, and it's like the last bit of its kind. So you've got to make it last.
Mm-hmm. I'm just absorbing it like, oh god, I love this. I love Falcom. I love these little story beats. Y'all just keep nailing it for me every single time. And that's pretty cool.
Paulie, do you think John would like that Yomu game?
I mean, from the standpoint of it just kind of being a hack and slasher, sure, but I think that it might be lacking the actual kind of stuff that John wants out of a Falcom-ish kind of title.
So like that
it's not really got any story. It's just a bunch of video
games. It's just, here's some video game levels to run around in, and you don't even have to fight most of the enemies. So
yeah, but that's the fun part.
That's the fun part, obviously, but fighting enemies in that Yomu game literally means nothing.
I didn't notice that. I didn't realize that the first time, but I was like, oh, right. Huh.
Yeah, there's really no point in fighting enemies.
That's unfortunate.
Is it better than Chantilly's?
It's better than
Chantilly's.
It plays better than Chantilly's.
It plays like an East game. It plays like that era of East game, in the same way that Scarlet Curiosity does. But Scarlet Curiosity kind of bogs things down a little too much. So, and I think Scarlet Curiosity is fine. It's just, I think that they added too much stuff to that Yomu formula.
I might check that out because I love the feel and aesthetic of Chantilly's.
Right.
This might be my vibe.
I think I played the Yomu game right before Oath, and was just immediately like, I understand what these games are riffing off now. It's Ys. Like I played comparison points before the actual authentic thing. It was just like this revelatory moment of like, I understand like what y'all were playing and being inspired by now. But yeah, the Yomu game is like faster Oath and Felghana, basically.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm very here for that. Because I did love Oath and Felghana a lot. Oh man.
And it's got Toho style bosses.
Yeah. So there's bullet patterns everywhere. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. God, I just fucking love Falcom, y'all. I'm just playing this like I've cried. I've just cried several times at this story in Ys Origin. Just like the most basic things. I'm just like, oh, the goddess. And when she runs out of the room and then just turns back at the goddess and goes, I love you.
Yeah,
runs back out.
It's a really sweet moment. It's such a sweet moment.
When she's knighted.
It's really
like,
good.
Oh,
like they make those little moments work. I like those moments. I like those moments. It's just that one dungeon. It's just the fact that it's one dungeon, really, that does it for me.
That killed it for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Yo-Yo Kengeki Muso is what you're looking for if you want to play the Yomu game.
Yo-Yo Kengeki.
I honestly think if you Google that Yomu game, you find it.
I did that and it didn't work.
Really?
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll help you out.
Cool.
I swear, though, every time we have the Falcom conversation, I'm always reminded of what John said on Game of the Year.
Yeah.
When you put Trails third as your number 3, and said like you couldn't possibly imagine them ever making something better.
Yeah.
Look.
And it was number 3.
I really liked Fate Stay Night, and I really liked Zero Ranger.
I know, it was just the wording there of like, this is the most perfect thing that they could ever conceivably make.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, the most perfect Falcom game. There are other individual games I'm going to like more than that. It's the consistency of their voice and how they can just There are limitations to their perspective. There are things they're not probably going to make my favorite game ever just because of those limitations, but they are going to do a good job basically every time because of how because of the limits that they embrace and because of how they go about making their games. Yeah. They just nail it for me every time, and that's really valuable to me.
Absolutely fair.
So that's it for me. I think Polly, you're next.
Yo, I'm next. I watched an anime. I did that.
Oh boy,
I do that sometimes. I watched the happiest anime in the world. It's called Girls Last Tour.
Oh god.
I know that Rhett mentioned this one probably about a year ago, and I was just like, I like that concept a lot. Yeah, but I'm very lazy when it comes to getting around to watching Japanese cartoons.
Yeah.
But I finally got around to watching this one because I'm watching some things that have always called my name, but I never got around to them because we are preparing to do an anime of the decade list as well, and I kind of want it it's like I probably need. This is probably very important that I watch this. So this is the show about cute girls at the end of the world who are almost the only people left alive in what appears to be the remains of Midgar, because it's a multi-level city that they're exploring. This is just one part of the world that they're exploring, and they're kind of like working their way up. It's sort of like a tower city, I guess.
The design is so weird. You never quite get a full view of it.
Yeah, you don't get.
I really like it though.
Yeah, like they do a good job of kind of keeping things very vague. Just to overall everything. Like there's a lot of vague to this show and how it presents itself. And I think that it's due to the fact that its characters kind of grew up in a world that's just been ravaged by war. Like, they were literally born and lived on the cusp of the end of the world before all of humanity perished, for all we know. Because the show does not kind of dig too deep into their histories. We kind of get, like, one scene towards the end that shows them kind of being sent off. So it's just like, get out of here. It's not safe for you here. Just go anywhere but here. And then we kind of end up where they're at now with their little vehicle, and they're kind of... It's like Kino's journey, but the world is dead, and we're only left to guess at what happened.
Yeah.
And, like, the thing that really sticks out about this show for me, and I'll get to the characters a bit later, it's just that it's a show that's really good at presenting this dead world. The background work is simply amazing. It's just dripping with detail. If you look at every shot, like I found myself pausing this show a lot and kind of just taking in the details of, like... the environmental storytelling that they're trying to tell of this war-ravaged world, and that, they're not going to talk about explicitly, but you can look at what they're trying to communicate through the details, where it's just like Makoto Shinkai backgrounds are vibrant and they're full of life and detail, and I would say that, like, if you wanted an exact opposite of that, you would go to something like Casshern Sins, which deals in a lot of the same, and this is kind of like that realistic in-between of, like, the surreal, vibrant life that Shinkai backgrounds have, and then, like, the dead, burnt-out, post-apocalyptic hellhole that is Casshern Sins, and you've got, sort of in the middle, what Girls Last Tour does. And that's really, like, one of the things that stuck out the most to me is, like, just there's so much background porn here if you pause and just, like, look and just take in all the details of the story that this thing is telling without using any words is something that just really, really stuck with me. Your own mind is left to kind of imagine, like, this world and what brought it to this state, and it's really, really cool stuff to kind of dig into.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
when I watched this show the first time, I just took like a whole bunch of screenshots and just posted on Twitter because it was just like, oh my god, just. And it's weird though because it's not a lot of it is just like endless industrial caverns and
it's
gray.
very mundane and gray and lifeless, but it's the detail with which they present that shit. Like the weird way you see that things have been blown out or like riddled with bullet holes or just little details that you notice like that.
Yeah.
So something like I'm not sure if you drew this from the show, Rhett, but it's not. But a lot of people think of this show as like two people that are finding ways to make their own happiness in the world, and I kind of disagree entirely with that.
Huh.
Because this is not a show that I feel... This show is more on the nose. I think it's more on the nose and less rose-colored. I don't think that it's out and out depressing. Because it is depressing, but I don't think
it's pretty fucking bleak.
It's very bleak, especially like when you get the concept and you know that the ultimate end for these characters is literally death. Nothing else awaits them. There's nothing good left in this world. All they have is
you've definitely finished it now, right?
Yes, I finished it.
Okay, because there's one line in the middle that haunts me a lot where they're talking about the digital camera they have.
Yeah.
And one of them's like, well, how many photos are left on it? And they're like, 30,000. And it's like,
which runs out first?
Which runs out first, the camera or our food supply? And they're like, oh, the camera's fine. We'll run out of food before that.
Yeah, but they talk about these things. They talk about these things with such candor. It's like, I feel like there is a point before this story that these two had to have had a talk where it's just like, we can't focus on that. Like because they're constantly avoiding the actual... Like, look, things can go and will go real bad for us at some point. And it feels like they dance around it, but they're not afraid to address things like death or just like being lonely or, boy, we live in despair, basically. And one of the characters really kind of hammers that home is that you have to become comfortable with the fact that the world is like, this is what it is and this is all we got. You've got to become comfortable with it at some point. Like, you've got to be fine with the end of the world being your normal.
It's just amazing because the characters are so cute, and then the way Polly's describing it right now is so fucking bleak.
Well, you get that dichotomy in the opening.
I know, it's so interesting.
Like right in the fucking opening, these characters are dancing around, having the time of their lives. The lyrics...
They're fucking dabbing.
They're literally dabbing, and you get lyrics that are like... wanting to forget yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Like, that's fucking dark, dude. There is this blanket of melancholy that's just so syrupy and black that hangs over literally everything. And the show is just not afraid to say, and we, as humanity, are the fucking ones that did this. Like, it is constantly, like, this is a show that is not, it's not preachy, but it does not hold back at pointing the finger at saying, wow, we're really fucking stupid, and this is what we're heading toward. And, like, okay, so it's obvious that these characters do care for one another, and they find comfort in one another's company, and there are various moments where you get that, but, like, what kind of like it's hard for me to find happiness in this show, I guess. It's like, and I think that like I never felt any of the happy vibes. Like, everything is like like this show is a show about knowing and being resigned to the fact that this is your fate, and like, let's just go as fucking far as we can. Like, there is an inevitable end, but, like, we're not going to just give up, but we are going to go as fucking far as we can. And it's just, like, it's a lonely show. It's it's very resigned. It's like this show was really hard for me to watch, actually. It was hard for me to watch in a good way. I liked where it put me, despite the fact that it's such a dark and very melancholy place. Because, like I said, like the melancholy of knowing that these characters are ultimately fated to die alone, like it's awful. Like I know that the manga finished. I'm scared to read it.
I bought the last 2 volumes and haven't read it yet.
So there's like, you know how in when we talked about Watamote, where it was just like, if they ever bullied her at some point and she was crying because of that, you literally, like, it wouldn't be bearable.
It would ruin the show, yeah.
If these characters, like...
Oh, God.
Like, there's a... there is a point where these characters lose everything. Like, at some point, they're going to lose their little cool wagon. At some point, they're going to lose their food supply. Like... For all we know, one of them could die, and one is left alone. Like, if either of these two characters broke down and cried, I don't know if I could take it. It's like, what is, like, and like, I know I'm going to have to at some point, because my curiosity is going to get the better of me. But it's just like, oh, God, how much worse does it get, and can I take it? And it's just like, I feel like this is something where, like, knowing how it ends, it's gonna suck and it's gonna hurt so bad.
Oh, maybe the world gets better. The show goes out of its way to like completely write that off by the end.
Oh yeah, like by the last episode, it's just literally like you two know there's nothing left.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the glimpse that you get of the world before the fall, because they do give you a chance to see what, like, these, because these characters are characters that have never lived in anything other than the world dying. So they get a moment to see that, and it's so fucking heartbreaking. Like it, like there's a scene where they go, like, you get to see everything, and like, man, that hurts so much.
Yeah, that's like, my favorite scene, like, by far.
Yeah, it's a really great scene. There's another really great scene, too, where they kind of run into one of the instruments of destruction that we had built, and it ends up firing, and it's just like, it's stark. It's just like, you fired it into a city that's already fucking leveled, but then, like, you've set this place off again, and it's just like, oh, God, it hurts just as much. But there's a vibe this show is putting out there. And some people might not be ready for it. Some people might just misinterpret it, because like I feel like some people maybe misinterpret it because they can't deal with exactly what the heavy shit that this show is putting out there. Like, there are people out there that I see try to spin this into Yuri, and I'm just like, dude.
Oh my God, that's the... Yeah,
it's the
I've seen that. I was like, guys,
absolute worst fucking take. Like, no. These characters don't know what singing is until they encounter it. You're gonna tell me they know what being lesbians is? It's like, this is not that show, and this is not the show to put that kind of read on.
Yeah.
Because I feel it's saying something much bigger than that. It's I've not seen anything like it, and I've not watched anything that made me feel as uncomfortable and weird as this show made me feel at times, but
jeez.
But I liked being taken there, because I feel that it's a valid point of view that you want to kind of hold on to, because if you want to make the world a better place, maybe you should remember the way that show kind of makes you feel. And, like, maybe you don't want to be a part of turning the world into that. So, yeah, Girls Last Tour is really fucking heavy.
Cool.
Whew. It's,
So, do you think the character of Yu, is she just, like... Her character is, like, she's very kind of airhead goofy, but, like...
I think she's very cognizant of everything around her.
Yeah, she might just be doing that because otherwise she'd go crazy, like, knowing death is coming.
Yeah, like, I think that she does it
She just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
She does it for herself, and I think that mentally, in terms of mental fortitude of the two, I think Cheeto is much weaker, and I think that she stays that way to kind of give her something to think about and to give her something to bounce off of that's not what they're actually looking at.
Yeah.
It's an interesting study, and I think that if you're looking for something that's got a whole hell of a lot of atmosphere and is saying a whole fucking lot, you definitely need to check this show out. I don't think that there's anything like it at all. Like even like I said, like even Kino's Journey does not yet cover the range of emotions that I feel that this show does.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy. It's really fucking heavy. So Rhett, question. Rhett, I got a question. How deep are you going in on Fire Emblem?
I've played it for about a week straight. So.
Okay, well let me get my last thing out of the way.
Okay,
and then we'll throw it to you for the finale. So the last thing I played, we'll end my shit on a happier note.
Good.
I talked about it a little bit before the end of last year because it was on the verge of coming out, but it finally came out. I played through and enjoyed a whole hell of a lot of Skate Master Checo.
Nice.
Which is a follow-up. It's a follow-up to Checo in Lucio's Castle, which was a sort of a collage game. It was a set of platforming challenges that you played through in about 5 minutes. And it was real fun. And this is like a big old blown-out version of that is only $2. That's fucking insane. Wild. That this is a full-on, like, as long as any NES game that you can probably think of. Like, this, like, I did a 1cc of this game, and it was 35 minutes. So,
goddamn.
Yeah, jeez.
This game is meaty. It's got 8 stages. It's just like an auto-scrolling platformer. I had a lot of fun with it. Like, there's not a whole lot I can say about it. Even in my Steam review, I'm just literally like, look, this game was inspired by a lot of things. And it wears that inspiration well, but it has its, I think, like, what saves it from being, quote-unquote, just another indie platformer is it's got a very strong identity.
Yeah.
There's so much detail in the levels. Like, it's got, like, it's like almost every stage has a whole new set of enemies and obstacles to interact with. Actually bouncing on things feels real good. Like when you land on something, there's this like quick little bit of hit pause that feels good before you pop off, and it's just like it adds a little bit of weight to the way you do the platforming around that game and stuff. But it's just simple auto scrolling. Get to the end of the level, go to the next. I mean, I think the only thing you can really criticize it for is the fact that, like, once you beat the 8 levels, that's the game. Like, there's no 9th level. There's no final boss or anything. It's just
there's no Wily's Castle.
Yeah, there's no Wily's Castle. There's no big climax or anything. But I think that there's just so much stuff to enjoy about the actual level design and the character that it has. Even if, like, I don't know the quote unquote Checo lore. Because all the cartoons are in Portuguese, and I can't speak Portuguese. But this is a guy. This guy worked on this game for like 2.5 years, and it shows that it's been loved on. Because there's just so much there, and the fact that it's only $2 and not more people that I know are playing it. The fact that it's that much and not more people that I know are playing is a little criminal, I think.
It's just very hard for stuff to get noticed.
It really is. Like, I think I'm still, like, the #1 review on Steam for the game.
I think at this point you'll probably stay as that just because of how, now that you're the most visible English review, you'll continue to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, like, day of release, I looked at the reviews and, like, all of them were in Portuguese, I think, except for yours.
Yeah. But yeah, like, this is just, like, another solid game from that dude, and it's capturing that NES aesthetic very well. It feels good to play.
Yeah.
The way you just dash around levels and bounce on things, like, there's just real solid game feel here. that like I wasn't expecting to be as good as it is for what it costs. Like, I'm not the person that brings up costs
You
a
were
lot.
so hung up on that price.
I'm not the person that likes to bring up costs a lot, but I swear this guy should have charged like $5 to $10 for this game would have been an easy call. But the fact that it's only $2 fucking dollars and
It's
is as
$2.
and as good as it is low cost instant gratification. Go get it. It's Skate Master Checo. It's super fun. You like platformers, you'll like this. Bada bing, bada boom. That's what they say. Hey.
Remember, it's Skate Master.
It's Skate Master. Not like you don't say it like a white person. Don't say skate.
Don't be mean.
Don't be red.
Skate Master.
Skate Master Checo. Hi everybody. I'm looking for a Skate Master Checo. Is it pronounced Techeco? Techecho? Skate Master Techecho. But yeah, like I ended up liking this game. I don't want to say more than I should because I don't think there's a limit to how much you can like something. Yeah. But I didn't expect it to grab me the way that it did. Like I played like this is a 35-minute game. This is a 35-minute game that I've somehow played for 10 hours. I finished it more than once.
Awesome.
Nice.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Go play it. Right.
Similar to games you played, Shovel Knight Treasure Trove and Sonic Mania. Thank you, Steam.
Perfect way to get John Thayer to buy it. Those are the perfect examples.
Steam's recommendation. I mean, they literally go, "Oh, platformer." Like that's it. That's what it's doing.
Like if Mario existed on Steam, it would just compare fucking everything to Mario.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Skate Master Checo. It's really good. I think more people should play it. I think that more people would like it if they played it. Like, so give it a chance. Anyway, Rhett, I hear that you've got some Fire Emblems.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, let's go.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
This has been a journey. So a while ago, remember last year when I bought a 3DS?
Yeah, then you never fucking talked about it.
Well, no, I played Mario 3D Land, and then I played, oh god, what was Layton versus Ace Attorney.
Versus Ace Attorney, yeah.
So I bought a 3DS, played 2 games, and then immediately put it down and didn't play it anymore. Even though I had already purchased 2 more games for it. I just was like, okay, that's enough 3DS for now.
We're good. I got my fill.
Coming off of Mario XCOM, as people call it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I have to sneeze. I'm sorry.
Do it. Let it go.
That was a cough. That was a cough, Rat.
It's not a cough, though.
My nose cough.
Is itchy. That was a cough because I inhaled in a weird way to make myself not sneeze. Anyways, so finishing Mario XCOM, I wanted another strategy game, and I was like, fuck it, let's go for Fire Emblem.
Okay.
So I purchased this game used, and there were 2 save files on there already, which I thought was very cute. Mm. And both of them were on normal mode, casual difficulty.
Yeah.
And I went,
nuh-uh.
Fuck that.
Nuh-uh.
I am a seasoned gamer. I play XCOM 2, and Mario vs. Rabbids, all very difficult games. When I first played XCOM, I played on Iron Man.
Yeah, like
both times.
Look, this strategy thing, it's your shit.
I got this.
You got this.
So I turned it on. I selected hard mode difficulty and classic for the unit deaths. So right away, this game is relatively difficult, huh?
Right away, you probably made the game significantly better.
How many units did you lose in the first fight?
Oh, in the first fight, none.
Oh, really?
So basically, I was being very careful. So this game is really good about giving you information when you attack, because I guess your player unit character... Okay, so the other thing. I am playing for the first time ever in a video game that gives you a choice.
Uh-huh.
I'm playing as the guy.
Oh, weird. What?
We all know why. There's a reason why.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you want to fuck Tharja.
Lucina.
Oh, okay. Look, most people go Tharja in that game.
Love Lucina.
the
Continue.
whole this entire playthrough, this entire wanting to play this game,
The
so I
whole
can
thing.
marry
You bought
Lucina.
this game because you want to fuck Iffy.
I liked Lucina before she did. I'm gonna marry Lucina. Goddammit, that's the whole point, though.
Okay. You're gonna
Anyways,
marry Lucina. Got it.
Okay.
so the main character's name is normally Robin, though, but I named him Rhett, obviously. So I may slip in what I call the main character. Anyways, he's got like magical tactics vision. So it just says like you will do this amount of damage to enemy, and they will have 0 HP left after you attack. Very good for
It's very
not
real
rushing
life
into
information
battles.
that you can gather on people.
Yeah, he's got magic vision. Anyways,
Right.
So I was good for a few fights. It was hard, but I was being very careful and like using the healer, like having people retreat when they're low on HP.
Mm-hmm.
So I got through there's like prologue, premonition, and then like the first 4 missions.
Yeah.
And then I got to mission 5.
Uh-oh.
And this is one where it spawns 2 new player characters like in the middle of the map, surrounded by enemies.
Oh, no.
Which is bad.
Oh, yeah, that's real bad.
So you have to kind of rush up and save them.
Yeah.
It also is the mission that introduces enemy reinforcements.
Oh, no! Oh, you're so boned!
So I am able to save these characters if I really, throw all my units out there real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, a few turns in, enemies start spawning in. Like every 3 turns, I get a couple more. And I am completely fucked. I don't understand this game. Because I'm new to this game. I don't know like the strengths and weaknesses of the units very well. And it's spawning new ones in constantly. I decided to restart the game.
Oh.
Did we change our difficulty and play style?
So I start over. Oh, don't worry. This is a journey, folks.
Okay.
Strap in.
Okay.
We're strapped in.
Okay, so on mission 5, after a few times, I'm just like, I just don't understand. Oh, and then I found that there's an optional side mission, like Paralog 1 or something that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that. It's much easier. And I'm getting experience for everybody. And I'm at the very end of that, and one of the girls I really like dies. In like a single hit, because she's kind of a glass cannon.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you're still on hard classic?
Yeah, this is what made me go, oh fuck this, I'm restarting.
Okay.
I got to the very end of the side mission, and then she died, and I was like, ugh. just utter sadness. So I restart on normal classic.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm still playing on classic, but it's on normal mode.
That's fine.
And so I breeze through the first 5 missions, and it's fine. Like, I'm not really thinking nearly as much about the strategy side. And mission 5 still was a bit tricky, but it was manageable this time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I noticed is that on normal mode, the tutorials are mandatory.
Oh.
They will pop up on the bottom screen and not go away until you like click to remove them. But you can still keep playing the game via the top screen, but like the tutorial, hey, it's just down there if you want to read it. Whereas on hard mode, it automatically like disappears and goes into like the glossary.
Yeah.
So there was things I didn't know about the game because I had missed them in the tutorial.
Oh.
Oh my god, this is a journey.
One of the big things being like, hey, if you're on top of a fortress tile, you get healed. That's pretty fucking important.
That's good information to have when it's a primary mechanic of the fucking video game, right?
Yeah. So I felt a little silly. I should probably actually properly read all those at some point. So I kept going. So I started to get to the point where like I have kind of the characters I really like to use. Mm-hmm. And they're getting pretty high level. Mm-hmm. Game's getting a little easy.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, this game is very much, they throw like 30 enemies at your like 10 dudes. like
And
enemy
it's
units.
just a meat grinder. It's a meat
Yeah,
grinder.
it's a meat grinder for the enemies.
Yeah.
But if you lose a single character, then you feel like you just want to turn the 3DS
Yeah,
off and
yeah.
restart the entire mission. So like there's a flow to the game that in general I kind of don't like because enemies feel so disposable.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you're not killing them in one hit, it feels like you're fucking up.
Yep.
So it's like you really kind of start relying on like the really strong heavy hitters like Frederick at the start.
Strong
is kind
heavy
of ridiculous.
hitters or getting your
Yeah.
speed to where you can double everybody.
Oh, is that what speed does?
Yeah. Speed lets you double attack if you're
Okay.
if you are 2 times stronger than an enemy unit.
Interesting. Polly knows more about this game than I do. I'm the one playing it.
I want to say something. Colin made a very funny joke in the chat regarding the tutorials where he went, Mega Man! To fuck Tharja, you need to master the double gear system.
Tarja's pretty tricky because she starts really deep in enemy lines and she starts as an enemy.
Yeah.
So actually, funny thing about that. So I'm playing on normal classic. I get to mission 9 and you meet Tharja. She walks up to. I have got like Crom paired with one of the girls I like, and she's in the front, and Tharja just straight up murders her.
Oh Jesus!
And then so like the lead character, I forget which girl it was. She dies. Crom falls out, and like so he's the unit on the playing field now. And on my turn, I talk to Tharja and say, "Hey, do you want to join us?"
Oh my god!
So it was like hilariously like
Oh wow!
gameplay not matching with what actually just happened in the story. Where
let this happen.
I recruited the character that just killed.
They just straight up murked somebody's fuck buddy.
Yeah, she like Tarja just walks up to us and gets a crit. I think that's the only time the enemy has crit me so far.
That's so good.
She just one shots this girl I like. So, as I'm playing this game, I occasionally look up information online, like, "Hey, what's is useful here? You know,
who can I recruit?
Help me with Mission 5," or like, you know, little things. There's something about the Fire Emblem forums that is amazing to me because it's the worst combination I've ever seen. It is min-maxing mixed with shipping.
Yep.
It is
even worse with Awakening.
Oh yeah, that's this game specifically is because it's a whole time travel thing where like when you marry somebody, you'll get their kids in the future to come back and play as. So then I Googled something like who should Crom marry, because whoever Crom marries becomes Lucina's mother.
Yeah.
And then you get a whole bunch of people being like, Crom X Sully is trash because then Lucina doesn't learn Double Gale or whatever. Like,
I literally cannot listen to people fucking talk about strategy in these games for that fucking reason, because it is so min-maxy bullshit, but then you get the fucking ship stuff on top of it.
Yeah, the fact that it's
so bad.
Wow. Well, if Crom marries this character, Lucina's speed stat will be higher.
Yeah, it's so bad. Oh,
it's so
God.
crazy.
Marry for the stats, people.
Oh my God, literally. So basically, I'm like, okay, so I know, I look ahead for how the Crom marriage stuff works. It's like when he gets to mission 12, he'll marry somebody with the highest support rank.
Right.
And there's a character that shows up literally the mission beforehand. So if you just pair him with her, like they'll get C rank on that mission and he'll marry her like immediately, which is really silly.
Yes.
But he has one rank with a girl I really like, Sumia.
I remember Sumia.
And she's the one who died at the end of my hard playthrough. No. She's the one who died on hard classic at the end of the easy mission.
Mm-hmm.
So I like her.
You let Sumia die?
I will do everything I can to save her. I've reset thousands of times to save her.
What?
Anyways.
Why are you playing a game with permadeath if you just reset every fucking time?
Let me explain. So anyways.
Add some tension.
Crom has C rank with Sumia, which means he might marry her, and I don't want that to happen.
Right.
So for the next like 4 missions, like one story mission, one or two story missions, and like a few more side missions, I insistently pair her with another guy and just have them go around, kill basically every enemy, and earn lots of hearts. Because she's with the really strong guy, Frederick. So she's not going to marry Crom. She's marrying this guy, goddammit. So I'm at like mission 11, which is like the make or break point. And right beforehand, I look at the support menu, and the option there is Sumia and Frederick, S rank. And I say yes. And I tweet out, I did it.
Oh my god.
That was the literal it.
Fucking wow.
It was that I prevented Crom from marrying.
Exactly what I expected.
You
Just what I thought. When I saw that I did it, I knew exactly what had happened.
Oh,
I NTR'd him. I had because Frederick is like the knight sworn to protect him. And I had her marry him instead.
This fucking Lancelot swooping in right up here.
God damn it, it is. It's exactly that.
That's so fucking good.
So here's the turn.
Okay.
We're not done yet, folks.
We are done.
This is a journey.
So as hilarious as I found that, also that pair, Frederick and Sumia, had also been steamrolling the game for the last hour.
Uh-huh.
I was really not enjoying the strategy game part.
Uh-oh.
No.
So I said to myself, what if I go back to hard mode?
Oh, no.
There's something wrong with me.
You demented fuck.
Did you have to restart the game to do that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
These are all separate save files. So those 2 save files that came with the game from other people, they're gone now. So I restart on hard casual. So now we're on hard mode, but we don't have that permadeath anymore.
We don't have the permadeath because if you're resetting every time anyway.
That's okay. So that's what I thought. If I'm resetting every time, then it doesn't really matter because everybody's getting super strong, and I'm just eventually going to start steamrolling things. So last night for about 3 hours straight, I played on hard casual, and realized I wasn't having a good time on that either.
What?
Because casual mode means that you don't have to think basically ever.
Oh, wow.
Because they can die and it doesn't matter.
Because they die and nothing matters. So on this route, Sumia died like every single mission.
Holy
I would just throw her at the enemies.
Oh my god!
Have her get a few hits and to get some experience. Then she gets knocked out and says, okay, it's fine, you'll be in the next one. Enemy gets a crit, oh, it's fine, you'll be back the next time. So I get to like mission 8 and I'm like, I ain't enjoying this at all. So I finally Google like, is it better to play on normal, classic, or casual hard? And the overwhelming majority seem to be actually normal classic. Because people on the forums, they really don't like casual mode.
Oh, yeah.
And I think after having played it for a couple hours, I agree, where it's like, because nothing matters.
Yeah, like there's no stakes.
There's no stakes and like there's no punishment at all. And I realized that XCOM kind of solved this already. Yeah. Because enemies will get wounded, or troops will get wounded.
Yeah, and then you have to. So you are forced to use different soldiers for different missions that pop up because they'll be out like 3 weeks.
Yeah, so there's a balance there, and I think Awakening or Fire Emblem games in the future, they could maybe use a little balance where hey, there's some sort of punishment for letting them hit 0 HP instead of just basically nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, here I am with 3 playthroughs now.
Jesus. Are you going to finish this game at all? Or is it just like, I can't?
I don't like hard mode casual, because casual mode is bad.
Right.
I don't like normal mode classic, because normal mode is kind of too easy.
Right.
I look at that first playthrough that I saved that I still had the save file from. My hard mode classic that's stuck on mission 5. Since starting that one, I've played like 10 hours of the game in alternate timelines and learned a lot more about it. I say, hey, maybe that one's not going to feel so impossible anymore. And after a few tries, I fucking got it.
Holy shit.
So right now, I am continuing my hard mode classic, and I'm on mission 10. I'm not quite caught up. I have one more.
Oh my god. I can't. The journey that this fucking I'm trying to think of a time I've ever heard of you replaying the start of a game this many fucking times.
The one thing I'll say is that when you skip cutscenes, there's not a whole lot to replay.
Oh no, obviously, but still, you're still starting over. You've still got to get all that experience again. Like Fire Emblem games suck because balancing experience is hard.
Yeah. So now I'm one mission away from being caught up on my hard mode classic. I'm at like the start of 10, whereas the normal classic was at the start of 11.
I can't fucking wait to find out where we're at next episode. Jesus fuck.
I truly don't know. So here's the fun thing about my hard mode classic playthrough now is I'm usually losing one character per round.
Oh no.
That's the thing. So this game throws a lot of characters at you.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to, because somebody's dying every single time.
Oh wow.
And the worst is that the AI... See, this is where the permadeath kind of sucks, because the AI, there's so many enemies, and they're disposable, but your characters aren't disposable. But the AI also fucking... Yeah. It loves to go after certain character classes.
Yeah.
So guess what I don't have anymore? Healers.
Healers, yeah, I was about to say. The game does prioritize healers.
There's one map where like 4 wyverns spawn in behind you, and I've played this mission several times on alternate timelines. I know this is going to happen. Those fuckers spawn in, and like 3 of them rush Lisa the healer, and she's just dead. I'm like,
that's not even fair. That's not even fair.
I'm just like, okay, I guess she's just dead now, because I know I get a cleric in 2 more missions.
Right.
I've seen the future like Lucina.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so good.
It's been quite the journey. I'm pretty happy with...
This is not where I was expecting this to go at all when you said...
I've been playing Fire Emblem. The funny thing is, like, how much of this happened after I posted I did it.
Yeah.
I was only on timeline 2 back then. And somehow, immediately after posting that, I was like, actually, I'm going to restart the game.
What?
Oh.
It's like I posted that, played 3 hours of hard casual, and then today went back to hard classic.
You are fucking insane. Holy shit.
You know what it is? Okay, here's what it actually is. I am desperately trying to wring some enjoyment out of this game.
Oh, God, yeah. Because, see, I played Fire Emblem Awakening, and I think it's fucking bone dry boring.
See, I didn't know you had played it. That explains a lot of how you know more about it than I do.
Yeah. Like, I just think...
Okay.
Like, I think Fire Emblem has been bone dry boring for a long time, but then again, I am that person that's just like, I only like Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance now. Like, there's the only 2 that I like.
Jetstorm and chat push Sans, wow, you really want to save this Pegasus Knight, huh? Sumia's so cute. I love her.
I love Sumia. As much as, well...
You can love a Fire Emblem Awakening character.
Right.
Yes.
Understandable with that baggage.
Yeah.
Please, keep playing it. Make me some new Fire Emblem Awakening. What?
I'm definitely going to keep playing. I've put so much effort into this final playthrough.
Like, it feels like you are obligated to see this through now.
Mm-hmm. It's like me with yellow mode on Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah.
If I had restarted it. If I had restarted it like you suggested, and then I got like 10 missions in, and I was like,
nah.
Maybe I should try yellow. Yeah. Let's do it on hard.
That's what I truly didn't expect, is me being like, fuck it, I'll just go back to the.
That's funny.
So I was right the first time that I wouldn't enjoy the game if I wasn't playing on hard classic.
Yes,
but I just didn't. I didn't
just
have
had to
the
know.
experience. I just didn't know how to play the damn game.
Oh, that's funny. God, you're so much better at strategy games than me. I played on normal casual and still had a hard time.
Wow.
Periodically.
It
I was
must,
like, oh.
I'm wondering if the difficulty jumps up at some point.
I was like, yeah, I finished Fire Emblem Awakening and Final Fantasy Tactics and no other strategy RPGs or strategy games.
Because like right before I gave up the normal classic, like Sumia and Rhett had just hit level 20, so I put them into advanced classes. And their stats went up even higher, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, they're so strong now.
Oh yeah.
This
Class
is just
changes
good.
are a big deal in that game.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, I'm just going to completely kill everything with them even more than I already am, huh?
All right, Tom says probably picking hard classic was good. You're probably in the right. It's probably not gonna.
Yeah.
Great. If you got this, you probably are gonna crank through this one.
It's funny though, just losing a character almost every single mission, and just being like, well, I lost the kid mage, but I got Tharja and the priest, so that's a pretty net plus.
It's a net plus.
Plus, you can grind in that game, right? Like, there's missions outside of the
missions.
Yeah,
there are grindy missions, aren't there?
There's extra missions on normal mode. So there's an item called, like, the something box.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. So on normal mode, that thing costs, like, 500, so you can just keep buying them. On hard mode, it costs, like, 5,000. You can't just buy them.
Oh, my God. I didn't know that. Oh, that ups the stakes a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So,
okay, so you made this game actually good, though. You made it actually like where you have to think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I definitely... It's pretty tricky. Because, like, the last one I did, like, I know, like, again, a different map where, like, 4 wyverns spawn in behind you at some point. But then, like, they specifically time it so that, like, the enemy rushes you right as they spawn behind you as well. And you just get pinned by, like, 9 enemies. And I tried it like 5 times, and eventually I got through with only 1 character dying. It was like, okay, that's the take.
That's good enough.
It's good enough.
That's the bar.
I was gonna have him marry Tharja, but oh well.
Oh well.
Because okay, so here's where this game is gonna get very difficult for me again at the end. There's a type of character I let die.
Oh.
Oh no.
It's called. They're called men.
Yeah.
Which isn't 100% true, which isn't entirely true because the 2 healers that died were girls.
Unfortunate.
But like everybody else has been a guy.
Like fuck it, throw him in. You are disposable.
In Awakening, there's a very specific thing you need men for.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, I've got Rhett, Crom, and Frederick. So that's 3 kids.
That might
no
not
harm option, unfortunately.
Huh? Yeah, I'm not looking up any guides as to what kids you get because I don't give a shit.
And that shit would just get so back and forthy and annoying
so
to think about.
Silly.
Be like, fuck it.
So that's my journey.
Oh my god.
Part 1.
Part 1 of the Fire Emblem Rhett saga.
I will make a promise. I'm not playing any of the other save files besides Hard Classic. If I have to stop, then I just stop.
All right, I think that's fair. That's a fair. God. Oh my god.
I was sitting here last night like, what's wrong with
me? This is even better than anything I could have thought.
Anything we could have dreamed of.
I was like, well, this is definitely its own segment.
Yeah, absolutely. This needs
I have
to
way
be the
more
finale.
to say about this than Mario XCOM.
Like, how do I follow? How would I follow that up with Skate Master Checo? Come on,
Rhett, please continue. Please replace my Fire Emblem Awakening memories with new ones.
I can start posting about it on Twitter now.
Excellent.
I was being very silent on this one for a shock factor.
It fucking worked. It really worked.
Well, because it was funny though, because I took a picture of the title screen because you have to. It's a 3DS. You can't just post screenshots.
No, you can't, unfortunately.
But like, I took a picture of the title screen when I started it, not knowing the journey I was about to go through.
Oh my god!
I'll take a picture of the save files when I get off this. It's like 7 hours, 3 hours, 7 hours.
Oh my! That's so nuts! That is so nuts.
I really want to enjoy this game that I paid for.
Oh, that's fun.
I think that's a podcast.
And
that's a podcast, y'all.
ladies and gentlemen, is a podcast. We want to remind you, of course, that we are currently taking submissions on the forum for your Game of the Decade list.
Oh boy!
And Rhett, you want to give them give them some instructions on that? You go over to the forum.
You go over to the forum.
There's this SNS in 2010s in the gaming forum. There's an SNS in the 2010s, the top games of the decade according to SNES to the SNS.
Yeah, it's in the interactive digital video entertainment subforum.
Yes.
Which is the video game one.
And there's a big old sticky message.
Oh, it's a sticky now.
Yeah, I made it a sticky. Yeah. It's right at the top by Rhett.
You made it all sticky.
Well, that could be debatable. I mean, I'm pretty sure since it's your topic, you are the one who made it sticky.
So, and we have decided. We've decided Shovel Knight is one game.
Shovel Knight is one game. But you get to list 100 games in order. 100. Mm-hmm. You can list up to fucking 100 video. What are you thinking?
I wasn't. But it's too late now.
It's too late. You can't back out. You can literally list up to 100 entries into this one topic for your game of the decade. Write a little bit about it. Give us a blurb.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to put that on the side as one of them big old lists. That's going to be amazing. And we will do the reveal of the final bit of the list.
Yeah.
We'll do that via podcast before we release the site version. So that'll be fun, right? Yep. We don't know anything about Anime of the Decade yet. We are still worrying about Game of the Decade right now.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
Anime of the Decade comes up first, though. We were thinking March for that one.
Were we? I don't remember. Fuck it. We'll have it decided by next episode.
Okay, right. Okay, this is tentative. I think for Anime of the Decade, we were just going to treat it like Game of the Year and just have people like write their top 3.
Okay.
And then email the podcast.
All right. Well, that's tentative.
Do you want to officially order people to do that? Or do you want to talk about it?
I tell you what, if you do that, we'll take it.
We'll read it.
We'll take it.
Because I just think
we just don't have a date right now. We ain't got a date right now. Next time, we'll have a date, and we'll even do a big special section of the podcast beforehand and be like, hey, here's how you submit to it.
Cool.
So anyway, that's podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all once again for coming out and spending the last 3.5 hours with us. You've exhibited, of course, a wonderful amount of patience in listening to us babble on and on about dumb shit. And we appreciate you each and every time. We also appreciate the bits and the subs that you throw toward the channel. Means a lot. I buy a lot of moon pies. So that's going to go. That's going to buy a lot of moon pies. That's what that's going to do. John Thayer, tell the internet people where they can find you on the internet.
farawaytimes.itch.io.
And Rhett, tell the internet people where they can find you.
It's socksmakepeoplesexy.net/sliders is the forum.
There you go. And I'm Polly. You can find me on my dumb website. And remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We're the only ones that love you. Stick around, everybody. We're going to shoot a host off to somebody before we stop streaming here. So let me see who's streaming while we're winding down here. And we'll get you all kicked off to another place.
Sleepy John.
Oh, John is very sleepy. Tell you what.
John was up till like 2 a.m. last night.
Yeah. What was I doing?
You were tweeting me about.
Oh, I was
using
that awful VN.
Oh, God. All right, I'm going to shoot you all over to RGL TV. They're having a marathon that's going on all week where they are playing all the games they love. And they're doing it for charity, which I don't remember what charity it is. But it's, it's called RG Love. They're playing games they love, and it's Valentine's Day. You know how it works, right? That's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to kick y'all on over there. Y'all have a good evening. Thanks again for coming out. We will catch you again in probably 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Cool.